Some moves for the Sabres yesterday, including signing Peyton Krebs to a 4.5 million per year deal. They hired John Davidson as a senior advisor as well. Davidson spent 18 seasons as president of hockey operations for St. Louis, Columbus, and the New York Rangers. Semifinals begin in the World Cup today. France takes on Spain at 3. They'll continue tomorrow with Argentina and England at 3 o'clock as well. Around the NFL, the Packers, they signed linebacker Isaiah McDuffie to a 1-year contract extension. And the Kansas City Stars' Pete Sweeney believes that barring a restructure or pay cut, 2026 could be Chris Jones' last season with the Chiefs. In baseball, the Home Run Derby came down to an exciting finish as Jordan Walker stunned Kyle Schwarber, becoming the Cardinals' first Derby champ. With the Derby wrapped up, the All-Star games tonight at 8 o'clock between the AL All-Stars and the NL All-Stars, of course. That'll be on Netflix. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Joe Cali for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
Come with me and you'll be in
Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. It's going to be hot and windy. Hot
Heat
wind.
advisories.
Hot
today.
wind. Like you're being breathed on
Yeah, like
all day. Like that's the best I
like
could
you're
do.
drying your hair.
Yeah. That's probably a better one.
Yeah,
That's hotter. People don't really have 100-degree breath. I don't think.
someone out there maybe does. No, yeah, it's blow dryer weather today.
Yeah. Good day to golf, maybe.
Not with that heat.
Not with that heat.
Yeah, the heat advisory for today, mid and upper 90s with low hundreds possible. That's a little bit more true of once you get up towards Lake Ontario. Like, that's more Lockport. And, I mean, of course, Rochester today. I've got a number under Rochester says 103.
For the heat index?
Yeah.
Wow.
Lockport 101, Buffalo 91. So it gets a little bit more into the 90s once you get around where we are. But, yeah, if you're north of where we are, like, get ready for 100 today.
Hottest-
And the wind.
Hottest day of the week. It's going to be hot pretty much all week, but today is the hottest day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
So plan accordingly. If you have to be outside, good luck out there. Most people have to be outside at some point, but if you're working outside in these elements, roofers, right? Like you're just baking up there.
Oof.
Pretty tough. So anyway, stay cool as best you can. We'll talk with Paul Hamilton at 7 o'clock. The Sabres announced a contract extension for Peyton Krebs, which I don't know if that's that big of a surprise. Maybe the term, maybe the money is. But Krebs avoids arbitration, is under contract, so another locking up of a player from the Sabres in Jarmo Kekalainen, which would bring his total now to Krebs 4 years, Benson 7, Doan 7, Malenstein 6.
Six.
So that's 4 players locked up.
Yeah.
Not brought in, but locked up for Jarmo. And
And a good amount of money
yeah,
in total, right? Like Benson, that's no surprise at all, but I think that now you could look at the totality of who they've signed this offseason and think like, all right, like, I'm signing a lot of guys I like a lot that play replaceable roles. And I'm paying decent money for guys that should be replaceable. Like, I don't know what Krebs will play going into the year, but if he's playing like on the fourth line, then I just bought myself an $8 million fourth line.
Isn't there a good... All right, here you go. Who's a better fourth liner to have? Is that how I want to say it? Who's the more valuable fourth liner? Malenstein or Krebs? Because if you want to say they're both fourth liners, that's not necessarily wrong.
Yep.
The difference is if I need to pull one of them off the fourth line because I need someone somewhere else, that's Krebs all day.
That is definitely Krebs.
Right? Krebs is...
Not that we've seen Malenstein do that.
No,
but
he's never been asked, and I feel like they would almost never ask him to do it.
I agree.
But Krebs goes up and down the lineup, and I think he's got one of those... When the Sabres tweeted out the contract extension, they tweeted out, our Swiss Army knife.
Yes.
And I think that's probably right.
I think it's like half right. It's right at 5-on-5.
Okay.
Like, there are... The guy that I mentioned as, I think, the closest comparable that signed to him this offseason when we talked about this early last week was Jack Drury, who signed in Nashville. What was his deal? 5 years, $4.5 million per year for a small center that's better defensively but can put up a little bit in the points department. And he got 5 years, $4.5 million per year. What did Krebs get? 4 years, $4.5 million per year. It's not that far off. Krebs has that ability. Like, that files under Swiss Army knife. You could play him on the wing, you could play him at center, you could play him on line 1, you could play him on line 4. Like, I think that qualifies. However, like what Drury does that Krebs doesn't do, Krebs is not a face-off specialist at all, so he doesn't give you that niche, and he does not play any special teams. Like, Malenstein, at least what he would give you is... This is a penalty killer who's going to throw his body in front of shots and block them. And Krebs played 11 minutes of penalty kill time last year. Like, he does not do it. So I don't get him on power play. I don't get him on penalty kill. I don't get him doing face-offs at a good rate, 44%. So, yeah, I feel like it's I don't want to go all in on Swiss Army knife, or else I'd like him to be able to do one of those things. Give me another role, another specialty role, and maybe he'll grow into that. He might just be asked to play penalty kill this year because Tuck's no longer going to do it, and somebody's going to have to. So I think I could get there with him there. I guess it depends what's more valuable to you. Is it more valuable to be a great penalty killer like Malenstein, or is it more valuable to have a fourth liner that can go up to the top 6 if he needs to? And even I would tell you I think the latter is probably more valuable.
Maybe.
Isn't it?
I guess it all depends on how you sell it. Like, fourth liner that jumps up into the top 6, which Krebs does from time to time, has its value. And I think everyone feels, I shouldn't say this, that everyone feels the exact same about Krebs, but I do feel like there's just a general, okay. His arc has been interesting. He was the guy in the Eichel trade who was supposed to be the really prized prospect piece. Mm-hmm. And if I told you the day of the Eichel trade what he would end up being, would you think, oh, that's a good return? I think the answer is no.
I think I would lean no.
I think you might have hoped that guy would turn into like at worst, 50-point
second line center.
Yeah, that's probably what you were hoping to get. Instead, he ends up going like to the fourth line with Granato and putting the work in and doing what he's asked and keeping a job in the league and sometimes fighting and sometimes getting scrappy.
Yeah.
So like
energy guy.
Yeah, I there are definitely things about him that I love. He's the guy that cashed all the empty netters last year, which
right.
If you want to say stat padding, I want to say like those felt like big empty netters, Empty netters matter, and icing a game is an important thing to have. If I had the best guy in the league that iced games like that, I would think that has value.
And he spent 5 months on the first line last year.
Yeah.
Like he has been a fourth liner, and I maybe that's really hurt his career in terms of becoming the guy that people might have hoped he would be. Like, you play with guys like Kyle Okposo and Zemgus Girgensons for 3 years in a row, and that creative part of your brain you might shut off as a player for a long time because what type of game are you playing if you're out there with those guys?
Just don't get beat.
Simple hockey, up and along the boards, hold on to the puck, go to the dirty areas. Like, you're not really trying to be a creative playmaker like he was described as originally. And there was some more of that happening last year when he got to play with Thompson and Tuch. And what I got 40 points. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, good. I like that. But I don't know. He's still just okay. And I think the thing that's sticking in my mind about all that they've done this offseason with their own guys, while I like Krebs and I like Malenstein as players, like I think their bottom six is better off with those two in it. And I think their options, if they were ever to run into injuries, for Krebs to go back up into the top six, that's if he doesn't start the season in the top six. I'm just assuming he won't, but he could. I like having him there as a plan B if, all right, I'm planning on Helenius being up there, but if Norris gets hurt again and another guy gets hurt, then okay, well, we're going to bump Krebs up. And I feel comfortable that he'll be able to do that. Those are nice things to have. But the GM stood up there at the end of the season press conference and said, well, I don't want to sign Alex Tuch if it's going to be a deal where we basically have to say goodbye to guys. And then they let Tuch go, who is a 30-goal, 60-point top-line winger who plays power play, who plays penalty kill, who's incredibly fast, who is big. And they said, okay, because we don't want to say goodbye to the guys like Peyton Krebs and Beck Malenstein and Jason Zucker or Ryan McLeod, guys that I think are really good in the roles they play, but they play the most replaceable positions in the sport. Like when you play fourth line, especially the wingers, that's the most replaceable thing in hockey. So they spent $13 million on this year, like, well, I didn't want to say goodbye to Krebs, Malenstein, and Zucker in order to pay Alex Tuch. Well, okay, that cost you $13 million for three guys like that.
Yeah.
When you couldn't have just plugged Tyson Kozak and Justin Danforth into very replaceable roles at $1 million and paid your $10 million top-line winger. I think that was... The more their offseason goes and they give out contracts to guys like this that are just okay, I think I want to go back and think to myself, I wanted them to sign Tuch even more.
Yeah, well, I thought you were going to finish that sentence with, the more the offseason goes by and they're giving out contracts to guys that are okay, the more they feel like the Bills. Like, that's what I thought you were going to say.
That's good, too, though.
That, like, everybody is, hey, it's draft and develop, it's keep our own, it's... You know, these guys that we brought in are better than other options, and maybe they are, but if you could redo it today, you think Tuch is the better plan?
I think if I could spend $13 million on either Zucker, they didn't sign this offseason.
That's right.
I just went into the offseason thinking like he could be a guy you would move to create space. If you gave me two options, I could have Zucker, Malenstein, and Krebs at $13 million, or I could have Tuch, Danforth, and Kozak. I think I would take Tuch, Kozak, and Danforth.
Yeah.
I will get away with $1 million fourth line guys that play the most replaceable positions in the sport. And yes, what I'll be losing is if I run into injuries, what can Peyton Krebs do that Tyson Kozak definitely cannot? He cannot go up and play with Tage Thompson and whoever else is playing on that top line. I would be losing that. Can Kozak do what Malenstein does on the penalty kill, and can he hit the way he does, and can he shot block? Like, I don't know if you're losing that too, but whatever. First line's more important than fourth line when it comes down to it for me.
For sure. I mean, I live there all the time, that the best players, the elite players, are who you want to try and keep and find. They're tough to find. They're tough, even tougher, I guess, if you're Buffalo, to get. But, you know, the team is good. The depth is good. The question, I guess, would be, can this group of forwards win the Stanley Cup? And if not, what do they need? Who could they acquire? I feel like Dylan Larkin, all these other pieces that you might have thought were ideas, they're not happening. Right now, on cap space, if they were to trade out UPL and bring in Hellebuck, a move they want to make, you'd have about $2 million left. Less than 2. I think it's 1.6 is the number.
That'd be your offseason.
Yep. So you'd still maybe have someone going out, whether it's like Norris or McLeod or I don't know.
They have a lot of forwards.
They have so many forwards.
Yeah.
And I end up feeling like, okay, if we are convinced that they are just going to be good, and I would love to have supreme confidence that they're just going to be good. I think they're probably good for a good while here.
Yep, I
it's,
agree.
it's more than just Tage and Darlene. The Benson, Doan group, that helps obviously a lot. Losing Tuck is a big deal. Samuelson and Power. I've got, how many players have I got that are now the core that feel like, is this a core good enough to get me to 95 points every year? It's probably like 7 guys, and I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, I agree.
But the rest of it is about, I thought yesterday about Terry Pagula's rhetorical question at Sean McDermott's dismissal press conference. Mm-hmm. What is success? Mm-hmm. How about that for the Sabres? Before we do the exercise where they have 6 seasons of success, presuming they do. Mm-hmm. From this point forward, what is success? Because for the football team, we decided just being good was not good enough. Mm-hmm. And for the hockey team, what is success?
I think for now it is still
just being good. It feels like like this offseason has not been one where the GM feels desperate to get into the Stanley Cup final or become a top 4 team in the league. It feels like this offseason has been all right, well, we've got some good things going. Let's eat our vegetables. Let's make smart decisions, keep value where it is, and try to do it again. And maybe once we do that, then we can decide whether or not we want to push a little farther. But it definitely does not strike me in any way as an all-in offseason. And I know that probably was the case yesterday before Peyton Krebs signed. But, you see 4 years, $4.5 million for Krebs and think like, all right, they're keeping pretty much as much of it together as they can. They lose 2 pieces, and they're trying to grow that back in the aggregate. Can they do that? I think probably. But if they were to have a dip, if they were to have a swoon, how would they approach that? Would that be, all right, we've got to do more, or would it just be ebbs and flows of this group? I mean, I think Jarmo gets this big reputation for being aggressive. Right now, that aggression is in signing contracts with guys that are already here. That were also here when we were disappointed in them to some degree. Not really Benson and Doan too much, but anyway, it's all fine.
Yeah, it's all fine.
It's all fine.
It's all fine. It's also, I think, can also be not what I was hoping for.
Right.
Not what fans were hoping for.
I think that's a lot of people.
I believe they were a big move away from thinking this team could win the Stanley Cup next season. And have they tried to make that move? Yeah, I mean, we know they've tried to make the Hellebuck move to some extent. And have there been other moves out there they would like to do that with? Sure. I mean, they wanted to pay Bo Byram. So they didn't get everything they wanted this offseason. They wanted to keep together the best 4 tandem defensemen in the league. And they weren't able to do that because he wanted a bigger role. And it's where, that trade also is a part of it, where that trade makes you worse for this year, but you get so much value for it that it's like you can't be mad at it at all, and I never would be. I would make that trade 1,000 times out of 1,000, but it goes against what I wanted this offseason to be. I believed going in that they could make enough, that there would be moves out there that could make them a legit threat to win the Stanley Cup next season. And why do you have to, take a breath and say, okay, that was fun, that was great, I had 110 points, I won the division, I should be okay now just being a 99-point team that just squeaks into the playoffs because I've proven now that what I have is sustainable. That's how the national media talked about them at the end of the season. Any big ideas or any awards or whatever, just be happy with what you got. You were a 15-year playoff drought team. Why do I have to be little brothered here compared to Tampa and Montreal and Florida or whoever? Why can't I go try to win the Stanley Cup? And the Sabres have kind of acted like they were talked about, which is, you're not the team that makes those moves.
Yeah, not you yet.
You don't do that. You sit there and you take your young guys. You take little baby steps along the way. You're not allowed to make the big swings. I think they've tried. Again, I don't want to say that Jarmo hasn't tried to do it, but listen, at some point, trying to do it, you don't get a trophy for that. And that became a thing with Kevin Adams, and it's a little bit of a thing with Brandon Beane. to me, which is I appreciate when these GMs are trying to make these big moves, but you got to actually get it done and do it. And I still am confident that Yarmo could actually get the Hellebuck trade done. That's why I'm not done on it for this offseason. So I would be disappointed if this offseason ends and this is it. But I still feel like they're maybe going to get the best goalie in the world. So it's like a pause button for now.
Still pause. 803-0550. The schedule comes out tomorrow. The NHL schedule.
Is it the schedule or the opening night games?
Oh,
because the opening night games come out first. Maybe that's tonight then.
Then tonight might be opening night. Tomorrow is the schedule, from what I understand. We'll talk about the schedule and the team and all that movement.
Okay. Tomorrow is opening night. Thursday at 1 p.m. is the whole schedule. So tomorrow we'll get opening night games.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and then the rest of it will come out on Thursday.
Very good.
At 1 p.m. So, for the show's purposes, we won't have it until Friday.
803-0550. Anybody with Joe that going back, if you could do it over again now, you would undo it and say, let's just take Alex Tuck instead of the extensions to Malenstein and Krebs? I don't think either the numbers came in big, readjusting your barometer for what's an expensive contract. A guy that makes $4.5 million per year is going to be on a fancy chart in the 29th percentile of players. That's how it goes. So, utility player is a phrase on the chat on our YouTube feed. I think that's right. He's not a fourth liner. He's more of a utility player, a Swiss Army knife. I think that's all fair. In the World Cup today, we've got action back to it, 3 o'clock, Spain and France. Tomorrow is England and Argentina. Very exciting, I guess, 3 p.m. We'll see what the numbers do. The ratings, the numbers for Norway, England, and the 2 games, the doubleheader, and Argentina, Switzerland.
Yeah.
Those games pulled close to 20 million people, 20 million viewers, which for non-U.S.
really
games,
good.
those are huge, huge numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, the ratings have been a monster.
Yep.
For this one.
Yep.
I saw Fox doesn't have the rights to the next one. They might get it back.
Yeah.
But there'll be a bidding war.
Big time bidding war for the next one. So that's today. We've got a little World Cup of Joe coming up today.
We have World Cup of Joe coming up later.
All right, good.
Did you see the poll that Sam Monson tweeted about earlier?
I did not.
He was referencing a poll. What percentage in a poll do you think of American men think they could score a World Cup penalty?
I did see this.
Okay, you did see it?
I did see
Okay.
this. Every one of these polls, I told you.
This is like the one where it's like what percentage of American males think they could beat a bear in a fight.
Or they could just make the biathlon if they were at the Olympics if you gave them 3 years. Yeah.
Right.
They all there's apparently among us, a third of American men just think they would be an Olympian if they tried.
That's the exact number. It's a third.
It's wild.
A third think they would score a World Cup penalty.
Yeah, sure they do.
On a goalkeeper.
Uh-huh.
What would the number be? Would it be like,
single digits?
You get 10 attempts on Courtois. Are you scoring once?
I don't know.
I'd score once. But no, not like,
I think
I'm going up for one, and I think I would score. That's insane.
I think you would miss the net 3 times at least, maybe more.
Okay.
No.
Probably right.
It's always consistent. Sure. Yeah, I could do that. I'm sure I could do that. It's funny.
This isn't the most ridiculous one. The biathlon one's worse.
They're all ridiculous.
This one you could just get lucky.
The only one that's
although the keeper wouldn't be picking a side like he would with a normal.
No, he would
shooter.
just watch you and be like, he would take that.
Right. He would know where you're going.
Isn't this someone that thinks they could score a basket on LeBron? Like, no, you can't.
Right.
And you're thinking, well, if I back out far enough and shoot enough, like, no, you're probably not scoring once on him. Yeah, the penalty kick, no. It is funny, though. 803-0550. We'll get to Robert in Medina real quickly before the break. Hey, Robert.
Yes, how you doing? Now, my question is, we have a bigger cap coming for the hockey team, right?
Yep.
It's a bigger cap. It's going to be more money. So you guys were just talking about signing Krebs and signing these middle-of-the-road guys for, like, what I think is going to be like a average contract next year and the year after. So if they're still good this year, like they were last year, then I think the bigger players are going to want to come here and they'll have more money because of the raised cap, and they'll have these middle guys signed for long contracts for what will be considered decent contracts for those players at that time. So I was just wondering what you guys thought about that.
Yeah, I don't know that it has to be. I mean,
Is this another way of saying what I tweeted, which is I remember a couple years ago the Sabres had signed guys and they got a little carried away, and we thought, uh-oh, they've signed too many, now they're trapped, and they can't do anything. And then they traded Dylan Cousins for a different player with a similar contract, and now they're good, but I feel there's a conversation to be had about, do they have too many guys signed where there's a little bit of inflexibility?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
And too many guys in the middle.
Right.
We're starting to creep into that. It's a Bills thing. Like, we're creeping into these middle contracts when, like, I think if I were a team that was entering the new cap world with all this salary cap space, and I was deciding, like, okay, who are the type of guys that I'm really going to increase my prices on? Who are the guys that I'm really going to be willing to pay big time? And where am I going to make up for that elsewhere? Like, to me, it makes more sense that you would want to pay guys like your Alex Tucks or whoever by $10.5 million. You saw Leo Carlson go for 18. Next year, you're going to see $20 million per year forwards. Like, in a year, $10.5 million is going to look like nothing. And I could sign a guy like that, and then I could go pay a fourth liner $1 million. Because where am I going to make up for the dollars? What's replaceable? Your vet minimums don't go up a lot. Like, in 3 years, I could still get a fourth liner at like $1.5 million. But I'm not going to be able to get a first liner for 10.5.
No, that's right. The only thing I wonder here is we're like almost talking like we're playing stocks.
Kinda.
Would there be any value in locking up a player like Krebs, Malenstein? I mean, I don't know. Malenstein's 28. So how many years from now would another team say, like, yeah, I'll take that guy at the salary he's at? But with the cap going up fairly consistently for 3 years, is just having a piece that's 4.5 for Krebs now good? Like, all right, if a team calls and wants a trade, I have 5 different $4 million forwards to offer, $4 to $5 million forwards. So it's maybe just kind of asset hoarding on a level if you're Yarmo, but I always tend to think the teams overestimate what they have, and the stuff you have is of the most value is the young guys that are cheap and maybe not yet signed. Anyway, thanks, Robert, for the phone call. 803-0550 and 1-888-550-2550. Paul at 7 on the Peyton Krebs contract, which is, thrilling. 2 weeks from tomorrow,
we don't
the
have
Bills
to
open camp.
We don't have to wait for an arbitration date. At
That's
least
right.
in August.
I mean, I had put it in my calendar. I have to go. Let me go change that.
Delete it.
Again, Peyton Krebs arbitration hearing out of my calendar. Jeremy and Joe, give us a ring if you want. 803-0550, the home run derby last night. We can all complain about that if you saw it. I saw a little bit of it and do have a small complaint. And, all the good stuff. Have you ever thought Bills Mafia would be able to agree that perhaps Josh Allen on a list is overrated? You think it's possible?
No.
We will be challenged with that.
That would be doing the impossible.
We will be challenged with that next. Krebs goes up and down the lineup, and I think he's got one of those. When the Sabres tweeted out the contract extension, they tweeted out our Swiss Army knife.
Yes.
And I think that's probably right.
I think it's like half right. It's right at 5-on-5.
Okay.
Like, there are the guy that I mentioned as I think the closest comparable that signed to him this offseason when we talked about this early last week was Jack Drury, who signed in Nashville. What was his deal? 5 years, $4.5 million per year for a small center that's better defensively but can put up a little bit in the points department. And he got 5 years, $4.5 million per year. What did Krebs get? 4 years, $4.5 million per year. It's not that far off. Krebs has that ability. Like, that files under Swiss Army knife. You could play him on the wing. You could play him at center. You could play him on line 1. You could play him on line 4. Like, I think that qualifies. However, like what Drury does that Krebs doesn't do, Krebs is not a face-off specialist. at all, so he doesn't give you that niche, and he does not play any special teams. Like Mallenstein, at least what he would give you is this is a penalty killer who's going to throw his body in front of shots and block them, and Krebs played 11 minutes of penalty kill time last year. Like he does not do it. So I don't get him on power play. I don't get him on penalty kill. I don't get him doing face-offs at a good rate, 44%. So, yeah, I feel like it's I don't want to go all in on Swiss Army knife, or else I'd like him to be able to do one of those things. Give me another role, another specialty role, and maybe he'll grow into that. He might just be asked to play penalty kill this year because Tuck's no longer going to do it, and somebody's going to have to. So I think I could get there with him there. I guess it depends what's more valuable to you. Is it more valuable to be a great penalty killer like Mallenstein, or is it more valuable to have a fourth liner that can go up to the top 6 if he needs to? And even I would tell you I think the latter is probably more valuable.
Maybe.
Isn't it?
I guess it all depends on how you sell it. Like, fourth liner that jumps up into the top 6, which Krebs does from time to time, has its value. And I think everyone feels, I shouldn't say this, that everyone feels the exact same about Krebs, but I do feel like there's just a general, okay. His arc has been interesting. He was the guy in the Eichel trade who was supposed to be the really prized prospect piece. Mm-hmm. And if I told you the day of the Eichel trade what he would end up being, would you think, oh, that's a good return? I think the answer is no.
I think I would lean no.
I think you might have hoped that guy would turn into like at worst 50-point
second line center.
Yeah, that's probably what you were hoping to get. Instead, he ends up going like to the fourth line with Granato and putting the work in and doing what he's asked and keeping a job in the league and sometimes fighting and sometimes getting scrappy.
Some moves for the Sabres yesterday, including signing Peyton Krebs to a $4 million per year deal, and they hired John Davidson as a senior advisor. Davidson spent 18 seasons as president of hockey operations for St. Louis, Columbus, and the New York Rangers. The semifinals begin in the World Cup today. France will take on Spain at 3 o'clock, and that'll continue tomorrow with Argentina and England at 3 as well. Looking around the NFL, Packers, they've signed linebacker Isaiah McDuffie to a one-year contract extension, and the Kansas City Stars' Pete Sweeney believes that, barring a restructure or pay cut, this season could be Chris Jones' last with the Chiefs. And in baseball, the Home Run Derby came down to an exciting finish as Jordan Walker stunned Kyle Schwarber, becoming the Cardinals' first Derby champion. With the Derby wrapped up, the All-Star game is tonight at 8 between the AL All-Stars and the NL All-Stars. That'll be on Netflix as well. The Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Joe Cali for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
A homer wins it, a non-homer, and we're going to a swing-off.
Baseball is not afraid.
Wow! Is that enough? Is that enough? Jordan Walker wins it! Come on, baby!
Home Run Derby last night on Netflix. Did you catch any of it?
Just the ending.
Okay. Oh, and Joe
Seemed
Kelly?
pretty dramatic.
Sure.
I'm in the ending boat as well. I did not
Okay.
catch the start.
I missed the entirety of the home run derby, unfortunately.
My complaint about it was this, and I guess I don't know what the exact right answer is. What's the best angle to have to watch home runs?
Like best camera angle?
Yeah, because you want to see the ball explode off the bat and go into the night sky and land in the stands.
Yeah.
So I think often the best camera for the home run derby is not the traditional baseball camera from the batter's eye where you're watching the pitch go and they have to flip cameras to another one to find the ball. I did not think Netflix was all that good at finding the ball often. And you didn't get the sense of, oh, there's a hit. Is that smashed? Right. Half of the appeal of the derby is when it's smashed and you know it right away.
Yeah, I know. You're right. I did notice that where they would only show Walker for a moment, and then they would spend 10 seconds on like the big wide shot. So I never saw the pitches coming, or him really swinging.
Whether it
was just the ball got hit, and it was from almost a close up.
You're right.
Yeah.
Whether it's the stat cast or however you want to use it, I did not feel that their camera angles were really good at all.
Okay, I could see that.
I couldn't tell that a ball was being hit into the night sky. Maybe that's the park. It's not lit the same way as others. I don't know. But to me, I just want to be able to see and gasp when a ball gets hit a mile. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, that makes sense. Otherwise, though, like because what happened, right? I guess if I could have seen it better, it would have been better. But 6 home runs with 6 swings left.
That's pretty good
to win it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
buy one and steal it from the guy in Philly that is on the Phillies.
Pretty good. The clip went around yesterday of McGuire at Fenway, and what's different about that is they're showing McGuire. I'm watching a lot of these highlights. He is a right-handed hitter, and the camera angle is from like the first base side up one level where I can see. I'm looking down the third base foul line.
Yeah.
I see McGuire and I see the entirety of the outfield, and every bomb, I can see the trajectory. They never cut a camera. It goes from the pitch coming from right to left, and then boom, you're following out over the monster. And that's one of the reasons it was so good. Like you can see from ball to bat to over the fence several times on this camera angle. I'll retweet this right now if anybody wants to see this, but it's a minor thing, but it mattered to me.
Well, how you see it, it's not quite a minor thing. Like it's the whole point of the event.
Also, the park matters. Like Fenway, cranking homers for the big league guys over the monster is not difficult at a derby.
Right.
That is not far. So get a ball in the air, you're going to get it there. Anyway, there you go. Old man yelling about the derby that I watched, 15 minutes of. I watched Bryce Harper.
The format seemed to work though.
Yeah, I mean the number of
swings,
limited
I
number
think
of
is
swings.
better than
I
time.
still think this will shock you as a person. I like it from when I was young.
Right.
Everybody on earth. Just give me 10 outs. Why am I being punished for a home run? A home run and an out count is the same swing? I don't want that. 10 outs. So I can hit as many. I could hit 6 in a row like that guy did, but not on 6 swings, just 1 out left. All right, down to my final out. If I don't get a home run, it's an out. Anyway, I thought, sure, it was fine. Camera angles, not so much.
I did like the shot they showed of Schwarber and Harper watching him tie the home run, and then about to take final swing to win it, and they're both like, "Are we really going to lose this moment? Right here." Our guy was about to win it in his home stadium, and this dude's just going to roll in from St. Louis and steal it at the end.
George in Buffalo. George, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Hey, I was kind of thinking a little outside the box with that type of package potentially for Hellebuck. Just say it was the Merca, Quinn, and, another piece. Why not go after Kyle Connor instead? If they're going to start cleaning house, I feel like Winnipeg's starting to clean house a little bit. Maybe, start from the basement, start building up again. If we can get our hands on him, I think that would be a real nice Tuck replacement. I'd rather move those assets. I think those assets are more valuable for Kyle Connor than they would be for 1 or 2 years at Hellebuck. So I was wondering what you guys thought.
Well, Kyle Connor is in year 1 of a $96 million contract, making $12 million per year. So I don't know what Winnipeg is going to do regarding starting over again. They haven't indicated they are yet. In fact, they might soon, but not yet. And I think Kyle Connor on the Sabres would be fantastic, but you'd wonder, should we have all the age curve conversation discussions about him? He's 29 years old, starting an 8-year contract. And if you get him, great. I think that sounds like a great idea. They have too many forwards. Then if you want to remake your team and do that, sure, but you're talking...
Yeah, I mean, you'd have multiple forwards going back, right?
Sure.
He's not getting traded.
How do you get Kyle Connor without giving up Zach Benson?
Giving up Helen Hughes and Ostlund.
And what else?
And a first.
And?
Mertka.
Okay.
I mean, he's had 90 points 2 straight
That's what I'm saying. It's all of those. He's had 90 points 3 times.
Yeah.
It's all of those pieces. And he would have had 90 points in 2024 also. He had 61 in 65 games. Or whatever. That's going to be like an 80-point season.
No, he's an awesome player.
Right.
He's an incredible player.
That's the biggest move possible. And, I mean, I'm not to say I'm not into the general idea, but I
don't get the sense Winnipeg is starting over.
No, I don't either.
All the guys who write about the Jets in Winnipeg, or the way Cheveldayoff, their GM, talked at the end of the season, I don't know, Friedman even on them, it doesn't sound like, well, Hellebuck wants out. That's the spark that begins a rebuild. And then the parade of star players want out right now. Maybe that happens in a year. It definitely could. But the attitude seems to be more of, all right, Hellebuck doesn't want to be here. How can we spin that into keeping our team competitive while we have a 29-year-old Kyle Connor under contract, and like you just said, we're not even into it yet. It's year 1. We have a 33-year-old Mark Scheifele that's under contract until 2031, and we have a 31-year-old Josh Morrissey under contract. They have good players that are 29, 30, 31 years old. It seems to be that they would more trade Hellebuck and try to get enough stuff to spin it so that they can try to win in a different way that they've been trying to win. Instead of goalie out, it's, well, if we have to trade him, let's get... Why are you not hearing picks and prospects attached to what they want? Why are you hearing, they want a second-line center and a second-line winger?
Yeah.
Because they want to try to win without Hellebuck. And if they get a Luukkonen back, all right, now I've got a reasonable enough goalie, and I'm gonna get better up front, and I'm gonna try to win that way. And if that's their attitude, and it seems to be from everyone that is, they're not trading you Kyle Connor.
803-0550, our number.
He also has a full no-movement clause.
I teased going to the break a list that actually might get Bills Mafia to say, okay, maybe that might be overrating Josh Allen a little bit. Might. Chris Sims has put out his all-time in their prime quarterback rankings.
Okay.
The best 5 years of your career put together in a row. Your 5-year stretch in a row, prime.
Okay.
Where did Chris Sims rank Josh Allen in his prime against every other quarterback ever to play in their prime? Allen was ranked where?
Can I ask a quick follow-up?
You can.
How much of Chris Sims' list is How good was the player, and what did he accomplish?
I don't know how to answer that.
All right, let me just guess then. Allen is 5th.
He is 6th.
6th best prime of a quarterback all time.
Yes. That won't be the headline. Chris, here's how it works. You know how this works. It's July. It's Chris Sims.
It's Chris Sims' season.
It's Chris Sims. You're right. It's his time to shine.
He's going to give you a list that's going to make everybody go crazy.
Allen is 6th.
Okay.
When we get to the real headline of this,
yeah, he's not the
real headline here is, what do I want to do next? You want to just go
who's in the top 5?
Sure. Number 1.
Brady.
No. Peyton Manning.
Okay.
Number 2.
See, this is where I feel like he's going more. How good was the player? Not just let me count how many rings he had. Number 2 is Mahomes.
Correct.
Okay.
Number 3.
Oh, is the headline going to be he leaves Brady like really low? Number 3 is going to be Aaron Rodgers.
Correct. You're doing great.
Okay.
Number 4, Chris Sims, all-time in their prime quarterbacks.
Number 4, Lamar?
7th.
Okay.
Lamar is 7th. Allen 6th, Lamar 7th.
Okay, well, Bills fans will be happy about that.
Yes, we wanted to fight Baltimore today.
No, Baltimore's busy anyway because Lamar was 69th on the top 100 list.
That's right. Baltimore's busy.
They're busy.
They're already yelling.
Yeah, they've got a list to yell about.
Yeah.
Is it like Montana? Is there somebody like old school?
Montana not in the top 10.
Okay. Is there anybody like older Elway?
Elway 4.
Elway?
Yep.
Okay.
Elway 4. Manning, Mahomes, Rodgers, Elway.
So there's one more ahead of Allen?
There's one more ahead of Allen, 6. Lamar, 7.
Recent or not recent?
In
between?
You saw him.
I saw him.
You saw him.
Favre?
Yep.
Okay. That's your 5 ahead of Allen.
Manning,
your best primes.
Best primes ever. Chris Sims chose violence because
Tom Brady's not in the top 7.
8. He's 9th. Behind, ready? Who's the funniest?
Oh, 8th is going to be funny?
Is the funniest for Brady to be behind.
Because all these are good, but none of these are funny
well,
yet.
Lamar, putting Brady behind Lamar is,
Sure.
Of course, it's July 14th, and Chris Sims is looking for content.
Give me like a Jay Cutler or something.
No.
No, it's not that ridiculous. Number 8 is going to be Roethlisberger?
Marino. Tom Brady, 9th.
Not a lot of Super Bowls in the primes there.
No, not that many. Not that many.
Because Elway even he didn't win Super Bowls in the 5 years that he's talking about.
Would anyone here make the case that Josh Allen's prime has been better than Tom Brady's prime? The Josh Allen in his prime is better than Tom Brady in his prime. Would anyone make that case? You want to make it?
I think I want to try.
Chris Sims has 8 guys ahead of Brady, so just one of 8.
Right, he's got 8 of these to do. I think I want to maybe stand behind it. Yeah, I think I might want to stand behind it a little bit. We're not just ring counting.
No, okay, don't ring count.
I'm not ring counting.
Go
I'm
ahead
just
and
looking
check.
at how good was the player in his best 5 years. And I guess also with Brady, what am I determining that to be? Because that could be, is that when he was winning Super Bowls and was throwing for 150 yards a game? Or is that in 07 when he wasn't winning Super Bowls and he was throwing 50 touchdowns? Probably that.
Josh has earned 2 second-team All-Pro nods.
Mm-hmm.
Brady had 2 first-team All-Pro, 2 first-team All-Pro nods. Manning had 7.
Yeah, again, I wonder what.
You're going just the player.
There was a 5-year stretch where Brady was a 2-time MVP, 2-time AP first-team All-Pro, 2-time Offensive Player of the Year, 3-time Offensive Player. No, one of those comeback player.
All in the 5-year stretch?
In a 5-year stretch, he had a 50-touchdown season, 4,800 yards. He had a 5,200-yard season.
Like, Brady might have multiple 5-year stretches that deserve to be on this list.
The thing is weird is, though, within any of his best, whatever you would want to pick out as his best 5-year stretch, you're probably picking a stretch that includes the year he missed it with a torn ACL. And is he including that in his formula? Probably not,
that'd be
right?
kind of crazy to do. Anyway.
Chris, well, who's mad at Sims? Because I'm not sure Patriots fans are ready to stand. Like, they're mad at Brady for other reasons this week.
That's true. 803-0550. Chris Sims season. Thank you. Coining it.
Brady, ninth, right?
Ninth. Hey.
Any list that has Tom Brady ninth, I feel like I want to give a round of applause.
I want to get on board with that, too.
I don't even care what the list is. Just you put Tom Brady ninth, love it.
We'll talk with Paul Hamilton coming up top of the hour. We also got an update on the guy that was thrown into the air by a buffalo.
An update on him?
Yeah. Good news.
Okay.
He's cracking jokes about it, too.
Okay, good.
We're all good. Let him flow. He's laughing about it with broken bones. So that full story is kind of funny. 803-0550. Jeremy and Joe on WGR.
The GM stood up there at the end of the season press conference and said, well, I don't want to sign Alex Tuck if it's going to be a deal where we basically have to say goodbye to guys. And then they let Tuck go, who is a 30-goal, 60-point top-line winger who plays power play, who plays penalty kill, who's incredibly fast, who is big. And they said, okay, because we don't want to say goodbye to the guys like Peyton Krebs and Beck Malenstein and Jason Zucker or Ryan McLeod, guys that I think are really good in the roles they play, but they play the most replaceable positions in the sport. Like when you play fourth line, especially the wingers, that's the most replaceable thing in hockey. So they spent $13 million on this year, like, well, I didn't want to say goodbye to Krebs, Malenstein, and Zucker in order to pay Alex Tuck. Well, okay, that cost you $13 million for 3 guys like that.
Yeah.
When you couldn't have just plugged Tyson Kozak and Justin Danforth into very replaceable roles at $1 million and paid your $10 million top-line winger. I think that was... The more their offseason goes and they give out contracts to guys like this that are just okay, I think I want to go back and think to myself, I wanted them to sign Tuck even more.
Yeah, well, I thought you were going to finish that sentence with the more the offseason goes by and they're giving out contracts to guys that are okay, the more they feel like the Bills. Like, that's what I thought you were going to say.
That's good, too, though.
That, like, yeah, everybody is, hey, it's draft and develop, it's keep our own, it's, you know, these guys that we brought in are better than other options, and maybe they are, but if you could redo it today, you think Tuck is the better plan?
I think if I could spend $13 million on either Zucker, they didn't sign this offseason.
That's right.
I just went into the offseason thinking like he could be a guy you would move to create space. If you gave me 2 options, I could have Zucker, Malenstein, and Krebs at $13 million, or I could have Tuck, Danforth, and Kozak. I think I would take Tuck, Kozak, and Danforth.
Yeah.
I will get away with $1 million fourth-line guys that play the most replaceable positions in the sport. And, yes, what I'll be losing is if I run into injuries, what can Peyton Krebs do that Tyson Kozak definitely cannot? He cannot go up and play with Tage Thompson and whoever else is playing on that top line. I would be losing that. Can Kozak do what Malenstein does on the penalty kill, and can he hit the way he does, and can he shot block? Like, I don't know if you're losing that too, but whatever. First line's more important than fourth line.
Stay cool today. Heat index over 100 degrees. And the All-Star game tonight. So you got that. You got the All-Star game going for you if you want that.
The Great American Classic?
Yeah. Is it the great... Is that...
Isn't it?
I don't know. Is it the Great American Classic? Midsummer Classic.
Midsummer Classic. What's the Great American Classic?
I don't know.
Is there one?
I don't think there is one. Is there?
Is that the World Series, the Great American Classic?
That's the Fall Classic.
The Fall Classic.
I typed in...
Is that the Fall Classic?
I Googled the Great American Classic, and the first thing that came up was the Great Gatsby.
Okay.
Does that outrank the Major League Baseball All-Star game?
Yeah.
It might.
Baseball goes with the Midsummer Classic and the Fall Classic.
All right.
No Great American Classic. Sorry.
No, I guess not. Maybe it's available. It's a title.
This show. Bang.
We've claimed
You're
it.
listening to the Great American Classic. Jeremy and Joe. Paul Hamilton on the other side as we break down the Peyton Krebs extension, what it does for their numbers, and all that good stuff. Paul's thoughts on Krebs when we return next. Krebs goes up and down the lineup, and I think he's got one of those. When the Sabres tweeted out the contract extension, they tweeted out our Swiss Army knife.
Yes.
And I think that's probably right.
I think it's like half right. It's right at 5-on-5.
Okay.
Like, there are... The guy that I mentioned as, I think, the closest comparable that signed to him this offseason when we talked about this early last week was Jack Drury, who signed in Nashville. What was his deal? 5 years, $4.5 million per year for a small center that's better defensively but can put up a little bit in the points department. And he got 5 years, $4.5 million per year. What did Krebs get? 4 years, $4.5 million per year. Mm-hmm. It's not that far off. Krebs has that ability. Like, that file's under Swiss Army knife. You could play him on the wing, you could play him at center, you could play him on line 1, you could play him on line 4. Like, I think that qualifies. However, like what Drury does that Krebs doesn't do, Krebs is not a face-off specialist at all, so he doesn't give you that niche, and he does not play any special teams. Like, Mallenstein, at least what he would give you is... This is a penalty killer who's going to throw his body in front of shots and block them. And Krebs played 11 minutes of penalty kill time last year. Like, he does not do it. So I don't get him on power play. I don't get him on penalty kill. I don't get him doing face-offs at a good rate, 44%. So, yeah, I feel like it's I don't want to go all in on Swiss Army knife, or else I'd like him to be able to do one of those things. Give me another role, another specialty role, and maybe he'll grow into that. He might just be asked to play penalty kill this year because Tuck's no longer going to do it, and somebody's going to have to. So I think I could get there with him there. I guess it depends what's more valuable to you. Is it more valuable to be a great penalty killer like Mallenstein, or is it more valuable to have a fourth liner that can go up to the top 6 if he needs to? And even I would tell you I think the latter's probably more valuable.
Maybe.
Isn't it?
I guess it all depends on how you sell it. Like, fourth liner that jumps up into the top 6, which Krebs does from time to time, has its value. And I think everyone feels, I shouldn't say this, that everyone feels the exact same about Krebs, but I do feel like there's just a general, okay. His arc has been interesting. He was the guy in the Eichel trade who was supposed to be the really prized prospect piece. Mm-hmm. And if I told you the day of the Eichel trade what he would end up being, would you think, oh, that's a good return? I think the answer is no.
I think I would lean no.
I think you might have hoped that guy would turn into like at worst, 50-point
second line center.
Yeah, that's probably what you were hoping to get. Instead, he ends up going like to the fourth line with Granato and putting the work in and doing what he's asked and keeping a job in the league and sometimes fighting and sometimes getting scrappy.
The Sabres made some moves yesterday, including signing Peyton Krebs to a $4 million per year deal. They also hired John Davidson as senior advisor. Davidson spent 18 seasons as president of hockey operations for the St. Louis, Columbus, and New York Rangers. The semifinals begin in the World Cup today. France takes on Spain at 3. That'll continue tomorrow with Argentina and England at 3 o'clock as well. Nearing the end. Around the NFL, the Packers, they signed linebacker Isaiah McDuffie to a 1-year contract extension. The Kansas City Stars, Pete Sweeney, believes that barring a restructure or pay cut, this could be Chris Jones' last season with the Chiefs. And in baseball, the home run derby came down to an exciting finish as Jordan Walker stunned Kyle Schwarber, becoming the Cardinals' first derby champion. With the derby wrapped up, the All-Star game is tonight at 8 o'clock between the AL All-Stars and NL All-Stars. That'll be on Netflix as well. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Joe Cali for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
Our Sabres beat reporter Paul Hamilton joining us here. We had a good run of Sabres news yesterday. Not only the Peyton Krebs contract extension, a trade, small trade, and then the adding of a big-time hockey name to the front office as well in John Davidson. So Paul Hamilton joining us. His appearance brought to you by Relax Honda. Relax. We got this. Paul, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Not bad. A day of news for the hockey team on, just a random Monday in July 13th. And the Krebs extension got done. You'd said many times the idea that, that could get done before they get to arbitration. A player will elect to go to arbitration. That just kind of keeps the two parties together. It's kind of like a franchise tag, right? Like you don't have to sign it. It means that there's contact up until a deadline. And lo and behold, here we are, a 4-year, $4.5 million deal for Krebs.
Yeah, and many felt maybe he would get a $3.5–4 million deal, but I think the comparable that you looked at was Jack Drury's contract. With Nashville, he also set career high in goals and points, but he had 10 goals and 17 assists for 27 points. Krebs did better than that. He had 12 goals and 27 assists for 39 points and is 1 year younger. So, when Drury wound up getting, $4.5 million for a 5-year deal, I think that was kind of what they looked at and decided, let's go with that, and they did.
Do you think, Paul, that Krebs is kind of just wherever we need him going into the season? We've talked about that with you about, you might make lines today and maybe he would be on your fourth line, but how much of his value is they would feel wherever we would need to put him if we run into injuries, we feel comfortable putting him?
Well, right now they have 2 extra players. So whether, you probably are going to get injuries in training camp. So you may not have to do anything, but the way you probably are going to be looking at it is 1 extra defenseman, 1 extra goaltender, and 1 extra forward, which means you probably will have to drop 2 forwards. You can do it very easily, and I'm not suggesting they do this. I would not do it, but you can go the very easy route. There's 2 guys that don't need waivers. That's Ostlund and Helenius, and you can send them both down and bring them back when somebody gets hurt or whatever. That's the easy way out. Everybody else, you either got to trade somebody or put them on waivers to send them down. Unless they have horrendous training camps, that's not my move. I would have Ostlund and Helenius both in my lineup, yeah. But they got it. They do have to. I think it's going to wind up being 2 forwards that they're going to have to figure out to do something with if everybody stays healthy throughout.
Yeah, Paul, as you mentioned that as an idea, I mean, I feel like the Sabres have won their fans back and gotten them engaged. And if we get to opening night and we're told that, Helenius and Ostlund, it's a numbers game, there's going to be a problem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is. Especially since they, lost Tuck, and they could have kept Tuck if they so desired. You could have figured this out if you wanted to keep him. You've got $4.2 million to play with right now. If he makes 10.5, you'd have to find $6 million from somewhere. But I think that could have easily be done because again, you'd be two more guys to be off the roster, whoever that might be, and you can take McLeod's $5 million easily out of there, and Ostlund can take his spot easily.
Paul, do you think there's any sort of calculus to, as we talk about Mallenstein and Krebs both being like fairly well-paid fourth liners, that the Sabres might look at the way that they are built in the present day and think, well, we want to keep the group of forwards together, and while sure you might be able to get somebody to do that job for $2 million, we're a team that isn't paying anybody at forward 11, 12, 15. We don't have to go basement shopping for fourth liners, so we're in a position to pay it well, and we want to be the best fourth line in hockey. I mean, I feel like that's not something you'd ever shoot for, but in the short term, I'm not making a case for it. I wonder if you think there's any calculus behind that.
Well, I think you look at it to the player itself. Who are we talking about? If you're the Sabres, who are we thinking about? Who are we talking about? What does Beck Mallenstein do for us? How much is that worth to us? To what he does. Same thing with Carrick. What does he do? What does he bring to the table? What does Danforth bring to the table? I mean, Danforth only played 4 games last year. He's at $1.8 million. And they were expecting obviously more from him before he broke his kneecap. That's what you're basically looking at is Carrick, Danforth, and Mallenstein, to be that line for you. All right, where does Krebs go? Again, well, where's Helenius and where's Ostlund? What are you doing with them? Where are you going with them? Where's Kulik? Is he going to be up top with Thompson? Are you just going to slide Krebs in with them? And just to start, if everybody's healthy. Which, again, before everybody panics here about what we're talking about, the chances of everybody being healthy on opening night are not all that good. I mean, everybody we're looking at right now, I'd be shocked if everybody is healthy. That's just not the way sports goes, especially through training camp. So it probably is not going to be a problem they're going to have to deal with, but it could be.
I think it is, though, Paul, getting into this a little bit in the first hour, it is an example, though, that their depth is so strong that, you've talked about the Larkin trade. You could rewind to the Tuck deal if you want. You could go to any of these other big ideas that they were and even still are in a position this offseason to say, okay, this is an upgrade at forward, but it might cost us 2 guys in a deal or anything of that sort, because we haven't even mentioned Kozak. You mentioned Danforth there a little bit. I feel like if you had to plug in a couple guys that make $1 million on your fourth line in the name of I'm getting a great player like a Larkin at the top of my lineup, I can do that because I have so many forwards that I would feel comfortable playing in my lineup night to night.
Yeah, right now I've got them 2 extra guys and around $4.2 million to play with. And does that mean Kane? Does that mean player X that isn't even been talked about? I mean, there can be a trade here for a player that nobody's heard of that's going to be traded. That all of a sudden is traded. I'm trying to think back when Jeff Skinner was traded to the Sabres. Was there a lot of talk about that before it happened? That was an August trade, if I'm not mistaken. I think the first week in August.
Yep, it was.
I don't know if that was discussed a lot before it happened. So there could be a guy that we don't even know that there's a negotiation going on right now and winds up here. So,
but guys would have to go out if that's going to happen, right? Are they signing a Patrick Kane if no other forward is going the other way in some other deal?
Then you've got 3 guys that got to go.
Right, waivers.
Or get hurt or something like that, which is fine. I mean, If you got to waive Danforth or something, you didn't have them all last year. I know Lindy Ruff likes him a lot, but is he going to get claimed?
Right.
I don't know.
It still just does feel like there is a lot of potential for a trade, right? Like they don't have to make one because, like you said, like the odds of everybody being healthy are not super high, but they have a surplus, and you might be looking at ideas that would turn a surplus into an upgrade in other places.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and we don't know if they have if they're looking at a trade themselves. For one of the guys we're talking about, is there somebody interested in Danforth? That you can get something for him to move him along. Or I know Lindy Ruff likes him a lot. And you got a guy in Davidson who would like him a lot too, because he used to be in Columbus. So that group of folks who are in the front office would like him too. As far as the D goes, I think you're set. That you've got your 7. It's got to come from the forwards, because it's going to be 3 goalies. It's going to be 7D, and that's what you got. You've got 7D and you got 3 goalies. But the problem is right now you've got 5 full lines. Mm-hmm. Somebody might say, well, Kozak is a nice player, but if you waive him, and if somebody claims him, then somebody claims him, and you move on. I can listen to that. I mean, I like Kozak myself a lot, but if everybody is here and you need to make a move, and you happen to lose him, then you happen to lose him.
Paul, back on Peyton Krebs for a moment. He only played 11 minutes on the penalty kill last year, but he had done it a little bit more previously in his career. Do you think he could be one of the guys, new deal, tuck out the door, that could do that more? I know Doan has come up more for that conversation, right? As someone that didn't really penalty kill last year that could be involved in it.
The reason Doan came up is Lindy Ruff brought him up.
Right.
In his last press conference, but at the end of the year, that he would like to start getting him some penalty killing time. Lindy Ruff obviously at that point knew that maybe the chances of Tuck being back are slim to none. He would know at that point where negotiations are and where they're headed. So he might have already known that he's down a very good penalty killer. And Alex Tuck, who's one of the best there is. Greenway is also one of the best in the league. You're down 2 excellent penalty killers. So I would think Doan, for sure, will be given an opportunity. I think Krebs will probably be given an opportunity. Benson, more of an opportunity. He got some. As the year went on, he got more opportunity to kill penalties. Danforth, if he's in the lineup, I think would be a penalty killer. Carrick, if he's in the lineup, would be a penalty killer. Kozak, if he's in the lineup, be a penalty killer. Ostlund can be a very good penalty killer. If Ostlund's dressed, I think he's also a guy that I would think Doan and Ostlund might be the 2 guys that would get the most time, moving forward.
Paul Hamilton. Paul, there was a minor league trade of swap of players. I wouldn't expect you to have like a spicy take on it. If you want to throw something on it, you can. The name's here. It's Tyler Kopf to Washington. The Sabres get Zach Funk. But the other part of it is, of course, John Davidson joining the front office, which I don't know, Paul, when Kevin Adams was here, he's kind of operating by himself, right? There's not a big support staff, and Jarmo has really built out a complete front office, it seems.
No, he has, definitely. He's got another guy who had been a GM for double-figure years. And, and as far as the trade goes, it's an obvious American Hockey League trade. Neither player have ever played in the NHL, probably never will. Matter of fact, both spend a lot of time in the East Coast League. And I'm not saying nobody in the East Coast League ever plays in the NHL, but it's rare. Let's put it that way. I think there would have to be a number of I know English is our first language. A number of injuries before Zach Funk would wind up in the lineup.
Like 15. 10. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. The one thing I noticed, there's a piece here about, it's maybe from a Caps fan site, that Kopf was a bit of a fighter and also a whatever. He and Josh Dunn, I guess, like, how does a trade like that happen? One GM calls up and says, like, hey, I was thinking about this guy. Like, oh, yeah, sure. Just throw me down the list. This guy.
Yeah.
All right, done. See ya. Right. Like these. All due respect to the players. I mean, like a deal like this is probably one that's
easier to make than like a Hellebuck trade.
Your AHL GMing thinking we could use a little bit of size that down in our affiliate. So
exactly. You do have to. I know a lot of people get upset. On July 1st. It's like, well, why are you signing Jason Poland? It's like, well, easy. They do have to bring Rochester people in. They do have to sign players for the Rochester Americans. So don't get all bent out of shape because it's like, yeah, but we wanted a guy. Yeah, fine, but you do have to bring guys in. So, in this case, they just felt Zach Funk fits what they're trying to do in Rochester a little bit better than Kampf did, and they made the deal.
By the way, speaking of Rochester, you said earlier that Oslin and Hellenius are eligible to be sent down. Is Kulik need waivers at this point? Not that I think he would be a guy, but if they said we want to get him a couple hockey games at the beginning of the year because he missed all that time, is he eligible?
I didn't even think. I just look him up.
Okay.
As we're talking, I can look it up. But
I'm halfway to doing it.
I believe he can go down without waivers. But
Okay.
As I said, I'll look it up as we're talking here.
It appears, it appears he can. So, not that I'm, forcing that in, but if everybody's healthy and they thought he could use a game or two, but they could do that in the preseason, right? So,
but what if he has an awful training camp? I mean, if he doesn't earn it and he's not playing well at all, and they look at it and say, well, you know what, maybe it'd be a good idea if we send him down there and let him get his legs, so to speak. So he's only 22 years old, and he is exempt. Yes, so he can go down.
Mm-hmm. All right, Paul.
Opening night gets announced tomorrow.
That's right.
Do you have a preference? Who do you want?
Canadians.
Yes.
Montreal.
Wait, would they take over the building? Would we have to immediately have an identity crisis about that? No. I want to be careful.
You know that better than I do, ticket holder and everything. You would have a better idea.
I'm not getting rid of my tickets. Not opening night. It's a great night to be there. And they're raising a banner. They're raising a banner.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't take over the building.
Maybe Montreal wants to come and take a look at that banner. Yeah, I feel like they got the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul.
Take care, guys.
Paul Hamilton on the Western Hotline on the Sabres. 3 moves yesterday. But John Davidson, he was the GM of the Blues when they signed McKee, right? Way back when. He's been around forever.
The big
he's been
McKee signed.
I feel like, what years is he on television?
Oh, I don't remember him on TV. I remember him in the Rangers front office.
He's been around. Do you know how old John Davidson is? 80. Nope.
I was going to start with the 70.
Wrong one.
I was going to go 72.
Wrong one. There's a different John Davidson that I just checked. I'll find his career here because, man, he's just been everywhere.
Yeah, and he played, right? He was a goalie.
Yeah. Yeah, he's with
way back when, like with the plastic masks.
Yeah. Another goalie guy. Good for the brand. Good for the goalie brand. Mm-hmm. He was the interim GM when Yarmo got fired in Columbus. So no hard feelings there.
Okay.
Broadcasting career. He did games, color commentator for the Rangers from 1987 to 2006.
Wow.
Yeah.
20 years?
Yeah.
Really? He wasn't working in front offices for all that time?
Oh, okay. Paul, he didn't go away. Hey, Paul, you're back. John Davidson also, NHL on Fox from 94 to 99, the 96 World Cup of Hockey. He did OLN and NBC, all the NBC branches.
Yeah.
So he was around for the Glow Puck.
I'm surprised I don't remember him.
He's also featured in the EA Sports video game NHL 97. I mean, he's been everywhere.
Okay.
Paul, what do you got on John Davidson?
2 guys in NHL history have worn the number 00. They are now both in the Sabre organization.
Davidson wore
Marty Baron and John Davidson.
There you go.
Really?
Yep. Marty put that out there yesterday.
Nice. I like it. Thanks, Paul. Good. There's your stat of the day.
Yeah.
Paul Hamilton delivering the stat of the day. Thanks, Paul. Stat of the day brought to you by Jan's Smoke Shop 2 and Gas Mart, where everything about Jan's Smoke Shop is smoking.
77-78 in New York. He wore 00.
What's the case against 00? What's wrong with it? Is it only that? Is it only that you don't do 01, 02, 03? Like, what's the?
I guess because you do have zeros in football and basketball, but not in. We don't even have single zeros in hockey.
No, you do in football now.
Yeah, football, basketball have them.
This the 00 conversation reminds me of. I was thinking of an idea for the next 2 weeks of a segment called like Summer Takes, like some are good, some are bad, like the joke about summer teeth. Anyway, Summer Takes, some are good, some are bad, because you never know what might set one of us off. What had me thinking this was, what was the golf tournament we just watched? Like the American Century Club Championship or whatever that was.
The one at Tahoe?
Yes.
Tahoe, yeah.
Which uses the Stableford scoring system.
Oh, yeah, I hate it.
I was just going to say.
So stupid.
I was watching that, and I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to bring up the Stableford scoring system and see if Joe or Owen or Joe just like wants to yell about something.
It's the dumbest thing ever. Why? We're just, nobody watching it knows what's happening or who's winning.
They put it on the screen. They put the points up.
Just the Stableford. Just count it normal.
Just for everybody at home, we're using the Stableford scoring system.
It feels like something hockey would do. Like, let's
it's definitely different. Like, did some guy just say, like, hey, guys, I got an idea. What if we do this instead? Which, it rewards, it makes birdies way more, way more better than bogeys are bad. A birdie is 3.
Yeah.
A bogey is 1.
You get a point for a bogey, which also is dumb.
You get a point for a bogey, but you get 3 for a. I got to dig into this.
Why wouldn't it be a par? Well, I guess
a par is 2.
Right, instead of a par is 0.
So 1, 2, 3, and eagle is 4, and albatross is 6. I guess really, there's not anything better.
No, right, like that's the thing. Like, if in a golf score, if we're playing regular golf and I birdie and you bogey, what's the difference on the score sheet?
You're right,
2.
It's 2.
What's the difference in the Stableford?
It's 2.
2.
You're right. In traditional Stableford, an albatross is 6. Imagine announcing
that's the thing.
You announced that at the tournament. Hey guys, if you get an albatross at 6, oh okay. I bet that's happened once this decade in this tournament. Good thing. Why not make it worth 100?
And the other thing it does, isn't it, is that double bogeys or worse are all the same.
Yes.
So it's basically like if you get a quadruple
just
bogey,
pick up your ball.
You just pick it up.
Wait a minute. Double bogey or worse is all the same. Maybe we should all be playing the Stableford.
Basically, okay, you're putting for double, pick it up.
Right. You're not.
We all move quicker.
You're not putting an 8 on your card. That's not happening. No triples.
Because really,
how'd you play today?
Nobody wants a 10 on the score. Like
nobody.
Not even like if I'm playing with a foursome and one of my buddies is like putting for 9. I just like I don't feel comfortable.
Okay, wait.
Depends on maybe I'm making fun of.
There's a modified Stableford. This is better. Used in some.
There's multiple Staplefords.
This one is used in the Barracuda Championship. Maybe this is used in the Century Club as well. Albatross 8, Eagle 5, Birdie 2, Par 0, Bogey -1. So that is one that rewards Birdie more than it punishes Bogey.
I think I like that one better.
Sure.
They use that where?
This is, as I'm reading, in the Barracuda Championship, maybe. There's a modified system. Anyway, this has been the segment Summer Takes. Just trying to, drop a phrase and see if one of you guys can get furious about something.
Is Josh Allen playing in this tournament this year at Tahoe? This is not the combined event, is it?
Not the Pro-Am.
This is not the Pro-Am.
The Pro-Am that's usually at Pebble Beach, right?
Yeah, but isn't there a big Tahoe?
Whatever one they played at this weekend, there were boats pulled up to the green. Did you see that? The green is there, and then a sandy beach, and then there were boats and pop-up tents for people tailgating off of their boats at the golf green this last weekend. Not the Scottish Open.
They have this was one day ago. Part of the Tahoe week is they have the celebrity tournament. Marty Fish, former tennis player, won.
Marty Supreme.
He beat Joe Pavelski.
That's not Marty Supreme, right? That's a different Marty.
No, this is Marty, not Marty.
Oh.
Marty.
I should
with
have.
a D.
I should have heard that. Sorry.
He beat Joe Pavelski.
Tough one.
Big rivalry, those two. Marty Fish and Joe Pavelski.
Pavelski could just never get over the top.
And Steph Curry was third.
Wait, did he? Did he win? Did Pavelski win with Dallas?
Win the cup?
Yeah.
Dallas never. Not recently.
Okay.
Has won
He
the
didn't
cup.
win it with
He
San
didn't
Jose.
win it with San Jose.
And he didn't.
No.
Win, and he didn't win that tournament.
No.
Tough one. 803-0550 and 1-888-552-550. When we return, the message the guy that got thrown into the air by the Buffalo has for the Buffalo.
Okay.
That's next. Jeremy and Joe on WGR.
The GM stood up there at the end of the season press conference and said, well, I don't want to sign Alex Tuck if it's going to be a deal where we basically have to say goodbye to guys. And then they let Tuck go, who is a 30-goal, 60-point top-line winger who plays power play, who plays penalty kill, who's incredibly fast, who is big. And they said, okay, because we don't want to say goodbye to the guys like Peyton Krebs and Beck Malenstein and Jason Zucker or Ryan McLeod, guys that I think are really good in the roles they play, but they play the most replaceable positions in the sport. Like when you play fourth line, especially the wingers, that's the most replaceable thing in hockey. So they spent $13 million on this year, like, well, I didn't want to say goodbye to Krebs, Malenstein, and Zucker in order to pay Alex Tuck. Well, okay, that cost you $13 million for three guys like that.
Yeah.
When you couldn't have just plugged Tyson Kozak and Justin Danforth into very replaceable roles at $1 million and paid your $10 million top-line winger. I think that was... The more their offseason goes and they give out contracts to guys like this that are just okay, I think I want them... I want to go back and think to myself, I wanted them to sign Tuck even more.
Yeah, well... I thought you were going to finish that sentence with, the more the offseason goes by and they're giving out contracts to guys that are okay, the more they feel like the Bills. Like, that's what I thought you were going to say.
That's good, too, though.
That, like, everybody is, hey, it's draft and develop, it's keep our own, it's, you know, these guys that we brought in are better than other options. And maybe they are, but if you could redo it today, you think Tuck is the better plan?
I think if I could spend $13 million on either Zucker, they didn't sign this offseason.
That's right.
I just went into the offseason thinking like he could be a guy you would move to create space. If you gave me two options, I could have Zucker, Malenstein, and Krebs at $13 million, or I could have Tuck, Danforth, and Kozak. I think I would take Tuck, Kozak, and Danforth.
Yeah.
I will get away with $1 million fourth-line guys that play the most replaceable positions in the sport. And yes, what I'll be losing is if I run into injuries, what can Peyton Krebs do that Tyson Kozak definitely cannot? He cannot go up and play with Tage Thompson and whoever else is playing on that top line. I would be losing that. Can Kozak do what Malenstein does on the penalty kill, and can he hit the way he does, and can he shot block? Like, I don't know if you're losing that too, but whatever. First line's more important than fourth line.
Some moves for the Sabres yesterday, including they signed Peyton Krebs to a $4 million per year deal, and they hired John Davidson as senior advisor. Davidson spent 18 seasons as president of hockey operations for St. Louis, Columbus, and the New York Rangers. The semifinals begin in the World Cup today. France will take on Spain at 3, and that'll continue tomorrow with Argentina and England at 3 as well. Looking around the NFL, the Packers, they signed linebacker Isaiah McDuffie to a 1-year extension, and the Kansas City Stars' Pete Sweeney believes that barring a restructure or pay cut, this season will be Chris Jones' last with the Chiefs. In baseball, the home run derby came down to an exciting finish as Jordan Walker stunned Kyle Schwarber, becoming the Cardinals' first derby champion. With the derby wrapped up, the All-Star Game is tonight at 8 o'clock on Netflix. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Joe Cali for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
That's the live audio of the Bison at Yellowstone slamming that grandpa up into the air. The good news is, everybody, good morning, Jeremy and Joe. He is laughing about it and joking about it, so you are now allowed to fully laugh about it and joke about it. The man, whose name is Carl, was visiting and suffered multiple broken bones, broke his femur in a bunch of places, and when the paramedics and everybody got there, he was in good spirits. He's got a lot of pain, conscious the whole time, joking around, and asked to see the video, which is the best.
That's funny.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
Let me see that thing. In a good mood.
The screenshot is still the best part of it. Him in the air.
In the air?
Yeah, legs straight up in the air.
Yeah. He breaks down exactly how he was trying to get away, how...
the strategy involved?
Yeah, the story in the New York Post says, before the bison's viral encounter, the animal, likely hopped up on testosterone as mating season begins, had already menaced several groups of visitors, including a small group of teenage boys who scattered quickly when it charged after scaring off the teens, took a moment to rest in the dirt near the picnic table. That's where the video pretty much picks up. And, says... This Carl, we got to get out of there. Yeah, he said, let's get out of here. I don't like this. I don't like the look of this. And sure enough, there's the still shot of the grandfather in the air.
So it sounds like he did kind of break his leg.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
He suffered multiple broken bones. But his message basically to the bison was thank you because it didn't kill him. He said when he landed on the ground, it was right on top of him.
Yeah.
And could have, he's conscious the whole time. So, you're up in the air, you're thinking this is bad. Then you land, and that animal's right there, and you're like, all right.
And you're out of moves.
Good night.
Yeah.
And
you're at the will of that thing standing over you, and that's it.
So he ends up feeling like...
Did he say if it just walked away or not?
Apparently, in the story from the New York Times, there were some other people that... the cameraman, I put my camera down and ran at the bison, pumping my arms up and down, yelling at the top of my lungs, and jumping up, trying to look big and distracting. Other park visitors followed suit, and the photographer believes that convinced the bison to flee.
Okay.
All right.
And they waited by his side for a park ambulance to transport him there, arrived in about 10 minutes. So
on the Good Samaritans there.
Yeah, saved him, basically. Or could have.
You got to look deep in your heart and
likely.
say, would you run at the bison, screaming loudly to try and get it to go away after just seeing it throw someone 8 feet into the air?
Yeah.
That's an internal question that someday we all may be forced to answer that
you
question.
Also won't maybe know until you're actually in a moment like that.
You're unlikely to be in that moment, but yes.
Yeah, right.
Yes, you find out a lot about yourself when you see a 65-year-old man thrown into the air.
How unlikely? If I just go to Yellowstone one day on a trip, is that is totally rare?
I think you are likely to see a bison. Are you
just
likely
to have
to see
a scenario like that is obviously
one
rare.
that is hopped up on testosterone and you're out of your vehicle, all the other factors that went into it?
Probably not likely.
This time of year, maybe that would be the only time you catch it. But
Right? Is there a better time of year to go to a place like that? Is July a bad time?
Sounds like it. Sounds like it's the time of year they're a little riled up.
All right.
Did you see Chad Ochocinco? He chimed in on this yesterday.
What'd he say?
I did not.
He said, Bison have no lateral movement. Hezzy to the right and sidestep to the left, and that'll get you out of the way.
All right, let's see it. Chad Ochocinco.
Go
know.
take, yeah.
Listen, how many animals do you know the running pattern, what you're supposed to do to get away from them? How many animals
Crocodiles or like
Yeah.
alligators use zigzag.
do you know? Zigzag,
I know
yep. That's right about them.
Yeah.
When we're all kids, we're learned to run downhill away from bears.
that. Right.
Because their front
Their
legs are
front legs
shorter
are
than
so
their back
short.
legs, so they
Yeah.
don't run downhill.
So they just won't even try it, or they'll
I don't know.
They'll roll.
I think they
It's like a
kinda,
weird
I think they
thing.
might like fall over.
But if I'm running downhill, then now I've got a barrel rolling bear that's coming towards me.
and then you cut
Like
back
a
the other
boulder.
way while it's trying to gather itself.
Right.
Okay.
It's going to be disoriented, too.
I feel like I wonder if that's real or if it's a myth.
The bear thing?
Because we all, I shouldn't say we all learned it.
I didn't know
I've
it.
definitely.
I had
Okay.
never heard that
Yeah,
before.
it doesn't, now, as a kid, it sounds like, oh, okay, good idea. Now it sounds like that doesn't make sense at all.
Right. Like I'm probably going to fall down the hill too. If I'm running from a bear.
Yeah.
I'm probably falling down the hill I'm running.
I thought you're not supposed to. It depends on the bear, right?
It depends on the
bear.
A lot of bears are supposed to run towards.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
turn your
Not
back.
run towards, I guess. Well, I guess you could do that, but just make
Right.
yourself big. Grizzlies are not one of them, I believe.
No.
Or not one of the ones you do that with.
Right.
I think the bear thing is a myth.
Oh, sweet.
See, back when you're,
All right.
for me, learning as a kid, you can't just type in a set of letters and says, like, no, that's fake. But that is something that at some point was real.
Listen,
I
there's a
Googled
lot.
it and said, no, you absolutely should not
Yes.
run downhill from a bear.
All right, don't run downhill.
You shouldn't run, period.
Okay. Sounds good.
Oh.
I mean, there's a lot of animals. Remembering what I'm supposed to do in each situation is a lot.
Well, usually it's limited to the animals that you might expect to see,
Right.
Fair.
you know.
You know, pretty.
What do I do?
pretty
If,
you're not
what if I
looking
do
at
if
a
there's
lion.
a wolf? Is there a plan? Is there a plan against a wolf?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Wolf.
A
I
wolf
think,
plan?
is-
The problem with a wolf is there's probably more than one of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I think wolf is like you might just be in some trouble.
Yeah.
Wolf.
It says stand tall, make eye contact, and be loud if for the wolf. Throw things at it.
Yeah.
I love the which animals
Throw things
yes
at it.
eye contact and no eye contact. Like,
Right.
hold on 1 second. And you're like glancing.
Stare 'em
'cause I
down.
don't know if I'm supposed to look at this one. Yes, eye contact. All right, I'm ready. Look at that wolf.
I kind of approach the eye contact thing in my mind as like, well, is it an animal that I think I could take on and beat or not?
Yeah.
Because I think the eye contact is pretty much universal. Let's fight.
It's aggression.
And
So you need a cowardly animal.
Right,
Is what
right,
you need then.
Right. You're hoping to scare the wolf away.
Like a
'cause it's
coyote
small
or a
enough.
fox or something.
Yeah, not that I think I could beat a wolf up, but just like it's small enough that you might be able to intimidate.
Fair.
Yeah. There's a what if I run into a wild boar? Because I've seen there's a
Oh,
big
man.
problem. No, wait, not with boar. There's a big feral pig problem in the country. I was learning about this this week. What if I run into one of those? What if I run into elk? I mean, there's so many. Moose. What do we determine on that? Which one of those is way
Moose?
bigger than the other?
Moose is
Moose
huge.
is
A moose
bigger
is
than the
huge.
elk. Okay.
Moose
Yeah.
is massive.
Yeah, that is a get
do I-
as far away as you can. How do you get away from a moose?
I don't know.
That's
what
probably
you can
not
do
one
from
I
a
want to
moose.
stare down.
No. Moose, I think, is one that you like back
Hide.
away slowly, like
Run immediately,
Yes.
it says.
I think that's what you do.
yeah.
All right.
My wife lived in Alaska for a bit, and she would go out for hikes all the time with the dogs. And like one of our dogs that we had, who's passed away, like flat out challenged a moose.
Oh,
Our dog Betty, who was like
Betty did? Yeah.
like 40
Bring it
pound,
on.
40,
Oh, no.
40 pound dog.
Yeah.
Like went up and let it know.
Yeah.
You know, you freak out in those moments. Like, don't do that. But then again, if you're the moose, I don't know. Are you what?
What
I
do you
don't know.
even think? Is
I
that
don't
like
even
an
know what you
ant
think.
looking at you? I don't even
Yeah.
know. Like
Moose are huge.
Yeah.
they're so big.
It says if there's no cover for a moose, use anything on hand to strike its face, eyes, and nose. But at that point, it's
Yeah, that is try to beat it up, but you're
Yeah.
in some trouble.
I love-
buddy.
You're an underdog.
Any animal that the answer is strike its face.
You're doomed.
right.
that means two things. It means one, it's going to take you unless you fight back, and
Right.
two, there's also a chance that this makes it more upset.
Yeah.
Because if you get attacked by a shark, you're supposed to like poke
Punch
its
it in the
eye.
nose.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
supposed to
you're
punch
like-
it into the nose or the eye.
Oh, great idea! I'm underwater. I'm
Right.
gonna throw a haymaker. It's really gonna land.
I see what I hear when I hear any suggestion of like that is just you're doomed.
Right.
So you might as well try.
That's
but
your
like,
last-ditch
good
effort.
luck.
Right.
It's like now you're in a fight and you just gotta hope here.
803-0550. Good morning, everybody. Jeremy and Joe on WGR. We've got, you said this, the NHL openers are announced tomorrow.
Tomorrow we get the openers.
And the full schedule on Thursday.
You guys want Montreal. I still want Tampa. The only cool thing about Montreal, this would be cool, or even if there are Montreal fans in the stands, are we going to get relentless yelling back and forth because Montreal is going to feel like they have scoreboard and we're all going to make them watch the banner get raised?
They do have scoreboard.
They do, but they
Yes,
still
they do.
will have to watch the banner go up.
True.
They don't get a banner.
And they'll give you a smug smirk. Congratulations. Congratulations. What did it do for you?
And then, of course,
it got you home
we've got
ice.
Sabres and Canadians fans yelling about what the Sabres would have done against Carolina. And it never ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ron in Alden has a deer story. I mean, animal stories, I'm ready for them today. Hey, Ron, go ahead.
Good morning. So around 2005, we were playing hockey out in West Seneca. It was after midnight, and we're going home. And my friend, he accidentally hit a deer. There's a deer up to hit it. Another deer came out of nowhere while we're driving, started attacking the side of his car, kept hitting the side of his car. The deer got a little bit hit in front of him, and it pooped inside his window and got all over him. Swear to God. To this day, we call it a hit and run with an extra letter at the beginning, but we couldn't believe it happened. He hit a deer. Another deer came to attack his car, and somehow it pooped in his window all over him. Incredible. And that's a true story, I swear to God.
All right. I'll take your word for it.
A vengeful deer.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I guess.
Foxes, coyotes. What's the standard coyote practice? Because
they're too little. They're not going to.
You can come across a coyote.
You can, but are they like 10 pounds? How big are coyotes around here?
The size of dogs? I mean, not 10.
Yeah.
They're certainly not 10 pounds.
A medium-sized dog, I would say.
And there's coyotes in Kenmore, right?
Yeah, all right, 35 pounds. A little bigger than I thought. Smaller than my dog.
They top out at 35 pounds?
I mean, that's in New York.
Okay.
My mom used to live in Arizona, and I've seen videos of bigger coyotes in Arizona. That was always... Me and my wife went to visit her for the first time years ago, and we're like, it's nighttime, but we want to go for a walk. Like, the sun was down.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, all right, bring a flashlight. And stay on the street around the neighborhood. And there immediately were like 3 set of eyes you could see in the distance that were like very creepy, and they were coyotes.
Oh man!
I had my first.
They don't
year,
come near you. They're like, she's like, you don't have to worry about them. They're not going to come near you.
Yeah, my first year in New Mexico, early in training camp, it was maybe 2 weeks into our season, and we got busted having a big party at one of the houses. It was like bad news. And so our coach made us come in the next morning, and we had to go to up to the arena, which was at the top of a mountain, and run the mountain as a team. And we're all running, and there's this big sort of like, I don't know what, just the concrete walls there that are just kind of like 50 yards from the road, just to kind of try and keep whatever in the mountain area. And I look to my left, and pacing like as we're running, just kind of like stalking slowly, is a big giant bobcat walking, chasing all like, and I'm like, I'm way at the back, and I'm looking, and I'm like, guys, we gotta there is a bobcat, and it is stalking us. No joke, it followed us for probably a mile.
Wow.
And it was terrifying because those things will jack you right up. And there's like nothing, like you can't outrun that thing. You can't get away from it. It's massive. It's like a 75-pound giant psycho cat. And so we had like that run got quicker as we went. It was crazy.
803-0550. Go ahead and share an animal encounter with us. Maybe a little more dangerous than Ron's story. I mean,
you had one here, didn't you?
What?
The possum.
The possum. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the possum.
There was a run-in with a possum.
There was a run-in with a possum.
Did you see Erling Haaland yesterday?
He brought back a taxidermied raccoon holding a bottle.
And a couple of squirrels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's kind of strange. I thought it was a real raccoon at first. I mean, it is.
I feel like, yeah, it was.
It was. Sorry, it was. Formerly a raccoon. That's Kevin Harlan, sorry. It was, formerly was a raccoon. Right.
Still kind of is most of a raccoon. All right, 803-0550, get a break in here on WGR. Jeremy White here for Riverfront Auto Sales. If you're in the market for a pre-owned vehicle, Riverfront can help you. If you're looking to sell a vehicle,
the GM stood up there at the end of the season press conference and said, well, I don't want to sign Alex Tuck if it's going to be a deal where we basically have to say goodbye to guys. And then they let Tuck go, who is a 30-goal, 60-point top-line winger who plays power play, who plays penalty kill, who's incredibly fast, who is big. And they said, okay, because we don't want to say goodbye to the guys like Peyton Krebs and Beck Malenstein and Jason Zucker or Ryan McLeod, guys that I think are really good in the roles they play, but they play the most replaceable positions in the sport. Like when you play fourth line, especially the wingers, that's the most replaceable thing in hockey. So they spent $13 million on this year, like, well, I didn't want to say goodbye to Krebs, Malenstein, and Zucker in order to pay Alex Tuck. Well, okay, that cost you $13 million for three guys like that.
Yeah.
When you couldn't have just plugged Tyson Kozak and Justin Danforth into very replaceable roles at $1 million and paid your $10 million top-line winger. I think that was... The more their offseason goes and they give out contracts to guys like this that are just okay, I think I want to go back and think to myself, I wanted them to sign Tuck even more.
Yeah, well, I thought you were going to finish that sentence with, the more the offseason goes by and they're giving out contracts to guys that are okay, the more they feel like the Bills. Like, that's what I thought you were going to say.
That's good, too, though.
That, like, everybody is, hey, it's draft and develop, it's keep our own, it's, you know, these guys that we brought in are better than other options. And maybe they are, but if you could redo it today, you think Tuck is the better plan?
I think if I could spend $13 million on either Zucker, they didn't sign this offseason.
That's right.
I just went into the offseason thinking like he could be a guy you would move to create space. If you gave me two options, I could have Zucker, Malenstein, and Krebs at $13 million, or I could have Tuck, Danforth, and Kozak. I think I would take Tuck, Kozak, and Danforth.
Yeah.
I will get away with $1 million fourth line guys that play the most replaceable positions in the sport. And yes, what I'll be losing is if I run into injuries, what can Peyton Krebs do that Tyson Kozak definitely cannot? He cannot go up and play with Tage Thompson and whoever else is playing on that top line. I would be losing that. Can Kozak do what Malenstein does on the penalty kill, and can he hit the way he does, and can he shot block? Like, I don't know if you're losing that too, but whatever. First line's more important than fourth line.
Paul, do you think there's any sort of calculus to, as we talk about Malenstein and Krebs both being like fairly well-paid fourth liners, that the Sabres might look at the way that they are built in the present day and think, well, we want to keep the group of forwards together, and while sure you might be able to get somebody to do that job for $2 million, we're a team that isn't paying anybody at forward 11, 12, 15. We don't have to go basement shopping for fourth liners, so we're in a position to pay it well, and we want to be the best fourth line in hockey. I mean, like, I feel like that's not something you'd ever shoot for, but in the short term, I'm not making a case for it. I wonder if you think there's any calculus behind that.
Well, I think you look at it to the player itself. Who are we talking about? If you're the Sabres, who are we thinking about? Who are we talking about? What does Beck Malenstein do for us? How much is that worth to us? To what he does. Same thing with Carrick. What does he do? What does he bring to the table? What does Danforth bring to the table? I mean, Danforth only played 4 games last year. He's at $1.8 million. And they were expecting obviously more from him before he broke his kneecap. Those that's what you're basically looking at is Carrick, Danforth, and Mallenstein, to be that line for you. All right, where does Krebs go? Again, well, where's Helenius and where's Ostlund? What are you doing with them? Where are you going with them? Where's Kulik? Is he going to be up top with Thompson? Are you just going to slide Krebs in with them? And just to start, if everybody's healthy. Which, again, before everybody panics here about what we're talking about, the chances of everybody being healthy on opening night are not all that good. I mean, everybody we're looking at right now, I'd be shocked if everybody is healthy. That's just not the way sports goes, especially through training camp. So it probably is not going to be a problem they're going to have to deal with, but it could be.
Hey, everybody, Jeremy and Joe. Hot today.
Mm-hmm.
Got talking animal encounters last segment. And we've got a couple people that called in on one, like Brian in Amherst on a bear. Hey, Brian.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good.
Yeah, we were up camping up north of Old Forge Inlet. It's called Lime Kiln.
Oh, yeah. I've been to Lime Kiln Lake.
Yep. A lot of bears. And so we were, up there with the family, my wife, kids, in-laws, and we're camping in tents. And so
camping is intense.
Intense. It was an intense, yes. So we're laying there. One side of the tent has got the kids over there, and we're sitting there, or sleeping or trying to sleep. And I don't know if you know when a bear is kind of rooting around, it sounds kind of like a pig, kind of rooting through things. They kind of snort and grunt and all that kind of thing. So anyway, we're laying there, and all of a sudden my wife is like champing me. He's like, honey, wake up. There's a bear. And because it literally was right behind my head. All there was this little piece of canvas between where this bear was sniffing and rooting around and my wife. Of course, she's losing her ever-loving mind. And, I was like, too tired, honestly, to care. It's like, yeah, tell him to go away, honey. So anyway, he ended up ultimately going away, and everything was fine. Then he came back the next day just to, kind of maybe see what he had missed or whatever. So, and this was actually during the morning, so we just kind of had breakfast and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, he comes walking down the side of the hill, and again, it was just canvas, just the tent between me and the bear, and everybody else jumped inside the minivan, so they were all, out of harm's way. But nobody got hurt. Everything was fine, But they get a lot of bears up there, and the Rangers have some good stories too.
Yeah. Thanks, Brian. Yeah, Adirondacks area, lots of black bears up there. It's always a big event. You can be in a campground and like, oh, there's a bear. And it'll just be walking through the campground, down like the lanes, if you're at one of those spots that has a bunch of camping spots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Black bears are one of the ones you make yourself big if they're
right?
Yeah.
Fight it. If it's going to come to you, you can fight it. I wouldn't seek out a fight, but yeah. I went to Alaska in 2010 and stayed where there were going to be grizzlies, and like the protocols we made sure of, we took on to make sure there was no odors, no toothpaste in your tent, no
nothing.
Everything goes away and goes up in the lockbox away from your tents. Everything. A lot of attention, a lot of attention to detail, because you don't want to just have like a grizzly next to you in the same way.
Right.
That'd be bad. All right. 803-0550, 1-888-550-2550. Life in Buffalo with the best quarterback in the league. Just, another Tuesday. NFL executives voted on that. Did you see what the ensuing online argument was about? Sometimes I feel like what we do here is say, like, hey, everybody out there, maybe you weren't online yesterday. A lot of people were arguing about the Denver game and about Josh's role in the loss, where we would place it on him in terms of, like, his career.
Yeah.
I want to try that on when we get back a little bit. Update you what people said. What the
how
takes
much
were.
at fault he was for it.
They had a bunch of turnovers.
Yeah.
He had one pick at the end. We don't think it was definitely not his fault.
The end of the half, though.
Yeah. 803-0550, Jeremy and Joe on WGR.
For more comfort.
Now's the perfect time to make yourself comfortable with a new electric heating and cooling system from Belknap.
In Western New York, summer and winter bring extreme temperature conditions. Make yourself comfortable with Mitsubishi electric heat pumps, designed to keep your home cool in the summer and warm in the winter, no matter how hot or cold it gets outside. Call Belknap today to learn more.
I'm Gary Garfel, president of Belknap. We work on your schedule. We don't charge more for weekends and evenings. That's why we say,
give Belknap a ring.
Some moves for the Sabres yesterday, including signing Peyton Krebs to a $4.5 million deal. And they hired John Davidson, a senior advisor. Davidson spent 18 seasons as president of hockey operations for St. Louis, Columbus, and the New York Rangers. For more on all of it, can visit Paul Hamilton's pieces up on our website, WGR550.com. The semifinals begin in the World Cup today. France takes on Spain at 3 o'clock. That'll continue tomorrow with Argentina and England tomorrow at 3. And around the NFL, the Packers, they signed linebacker Isaiah McDuffie to a 1-year contract extension. And the Kansas City Stars' Pete Sweeney believes that barring a restructure or pay cut, this season could be Chris Jones' last season with the Chiefs. In baseball, the home run derby came down to an exciting finish as Jordan Walker stunned Kyle Schwarber, becoming the Cardinals' first derby champion. With the derby wrapped up, the All-Star Game is tonight at 8 o'clock. That'll be on Netflix. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Joe Cali for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
Do you believe in your heart of hearts that Josh Allen's better than Patrick Mahomes? I'll ask the question a different way. If your life was on the line and you needed one quarterback to win the game for you at the end, and I gave you Patrick Mahomes on one side and Josh Allen on the other, who are you taking? Be honest. Even if you hate the Chiefs, even if you hate Patrick Mahomes, in the same way that you hated Tom Brady and you hated the New England Patriots. I get it. You're tired of Kansas City. I get it. You reveled in the Chiefs' misery last year. I understand. It all makes sense. But you can't say that Mahomes is not the best.
Nick Costos. It depends what year is it. If we played that game last year, then Patrick Mahomes finished below 500. Right? What year is it? Mm-hmm. What do these things matter? What? You're gonna get me going on this.
I'm pretty sure this was true 2 years ago. I'm pretty sure in the last 2 years, Mahomes has a lower yards per attempt than Anthony Richardson does.
Oh, you're just ready with Anthony Richardson facts, though.
He has a very high. He has some good stats.
That's true.
Because he only threw 60-yard bombs.
But
part of that was Mahomes in like a lot of those rankings was like in the 20s.
It's just a nonstop exercise to want to believe that there are certain greats that are on a level you could never touch, and it's more narrative than anything. What happened the last time Patrick Mahomes was in the Super Bowl? You could have pick one guy today, one guy to win this game for you. Your life depends on it. Mahomes or Hurts? Who do you take? Be honest. Who'd you take? Mahomes. Hey, let's buy like 40. So tough one. Tough pick for you. It's been a while since Mahomes has looked like the guy you want to take. That point itself, what year is it? Is it 4 years ago? If it's 4 years ago, I got. It depends. Is there a coin toss before to determine which of the quarterbacks gets to play?
Right.
Because in one of Mahomes' most signature wins, he wins the toss. What happens if he doesn't win the toss? I mean, all right. How many years will it be this way? If he never wins another Super Bowl, does he still get that distinction? Can it be Matthew Stafford if Stafford wins this year? How many more years of Mahomes just has to be your default answer? Who's the best team? Hold on. Who's the best team in the NBA? Don't you have to say it's the Warriors? They won all those titles. We're talking about 2025.
Right.
We're talking about now. We just have to always defer back to this ghost that defeated everybody. I mean, the same way that Josh Allen in 2021 is different than Josh Allen in 2025. These players change. Who's going to win the Open Championship? I don't know. I might look at who the 5 best golfers in the world are now and not pick Bernhard Langer because did he win one maybe?
Probably. You wouldn't say Tiger.
Who won Opens 2 out of the last 7 years, 5 years ago? I'm going to look that up.
I think what really delayed any, you can't treat Mahomes the same way because it's been a couple of struggling years in a row for him statistically, is the record they had 2 years ago. It really, for many, it's only 1 year, and then that can feel fluky. Like, 1 year where they lost a bunch of close games and, they missed the playoffs, but they'll be back. But for some, like, this is me. Wasn't impressed by them the previous season, but they went 15-1, or he went 15-1 in the regular season. So it's okay. Well, what do you mean? He struggled 2 years in a row. He lost one game 2 years ago, but that was a year where they were getting magical blocked field goals from a 30-yard kick at the end of a game, and they were getting penalties thrown their way against the Bengals, and they just all of these close wins and luck that was involved. And that, I think, is a season where if you look at that year and go, that was the beginning of it not looking right, then you should feel like going into this season, like, oh, they don't have to be treated the same way. But if you were someone that looked at that year and said they lost one time and they made the Super Bowl, then you probably look at last year as more of a fluke. And I look at it as, no, he has struggled 2 years in a row. And all the numbers on what he has been since Tyreek Hill left as a passer, he's just very, very different. And sure, is he still incredible? Absolutely. But I don't know. They won Super Bowls in a big way because their defense really helped them out a lot in the playoffs. And if you're comparing him to Josh Allen, like a lot of these exercises will tend to do, sure, that's a part of it. That Allen hasn't had as much help on defense. I wouldn't go all the way in because, Allen has also had the ball at the end of games, and Mahomes has sometimes gone the distance on that. So, I don't know. I think you should not look at him the same way. He also had a knee injury, and I don't know what he's going to look like off of that knee injury. I think they could run the ball a lot at the beginning of the season to try to keep him healthy. Is that why they signed Kenneth Walker?
Yeah.
To big money? I don't know. I'm very curious about what they look like. I'm not so much. I'm definitely not assuming they're just going to come out and look like the normal Chiefs offense of 4 years ago.
Right, but the normal Chiefs offense of the last 2 years is like a middle of the pack offense.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not throwing dirt on Mahomes' grave, but can we just actually chart where guys are now? Who's the best? Not that guy. What year is it? What year do you want to ask that question? And again, like, I need one guy to win me a game. Who's on his defense? Like this, where's the game? On the road, at home, in the elements, in the dome? Who are they playing against?
Well, and I want to know who's calling your plays.
Who's calling your plays?
Because that's a benefit that Mahomes has had his entire career that Allen has not.
It's always just this, magical kind of formula. Who's the best quarterback in football right now? Well, hold on. Instead of that, let me ask you this way. Why wouldn't you just answer the question I asked? NFL executives put Josh number one. I think that's probably right. So anyway, 803-0550. Life with the best quarterback in football. NFL executives named him that. The big story in the NFL, it is ranking season and reaction to ranking season, was Lamar being ranked 69th by the NFL players, which every year the NFL players give out their top 100. I feel like it is partially a popularity contest among players, but that just means like, who do players know? Who do players think is good? I don't think anybody should look at it as all that scientific, but Lamar dropped from number two. He dropped 67 spots.
Yeah.
And is that reasonable? I tend to think it is, just because of the injuries, just because of the inconsistency, the inability to stay healthy and play. So players just faded him a bit. Who would they put instead of him? Instead of him being the number one quarterback, last year he was ranked as the number one quarterback.
Yeah.
And instead of that, they saw him play in 13 games and said, all right, maybe there are a couple guys ahead of him.
Yeah. He did not look great even in the games he played, but you would also probably attribute that to health. I mean, what looked more evident from Jackson last year is when, in those 13 games he played, when he would try to escape the way he used to, it was like there was a gear missing. And that probably was injury more than, I wouldn't imagine from 1 year to the next it went that down. Far down, his athleticism and his ability to run, his ability to escape. But last year made me think long and hard about like how he's going to age. Because he has been so good as a passer, but that dropped when maybe teams thought your athletic ability wasn't all the way there because you weren't 100% healthy and you weren't able to carve defenses apart with your arm like you have been.
Well, I know it's a fantasy football point, but his points from rushing by season in fantasy has been an absolute into the ground.
Yeah.
If you have him in fantasy, you know that. Which, again, you want to say it's not real football, it's fantasy football.
Right,
That's an indicator of how willing he is to run and how much of a threat he is to run.
Yeah, well, he didn't run for 50 yards in a game after the Bills opener last year. 50 for him is not hard to do in the past. So I think I would have probably had him higher. I mean,
Then 69th?
Then 69th.
But again,
I still respect a lot of the ability there. And, I would ask the question, all right, that's fine. If you are going to dock availability that much, then you should be docking Joe Burrow this much.
Well,
because that dude's missed way more games in his career than Lamar Jackson has.
For the NFL top 100 list.
It's the players.
Right. It's players. It's inexact. They're asked to, write down the names of the good players? And 69th could simply mean that more players wrote down the names of defensive ends that they are positive are in the top 10 than quarterbacks. Like Lamar, instead of being at the top of everyone's ballot, fresh off a year where he, by the way, won the MVP, instead it was I feel like he didn't have a good year. So he gets faded down to 69th.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably right. But would I just assume he's going to shoot back up to the top? Because I think I guess I'm treating him as though I'm assuming he will. Doesn't that ranking kind of say, we're not really giving him the benefit of the doubt on a year where he definitely was injured? After, by the way, 2 seasons where you could argue that he should have won back-to-back MVPs. I mean, I only think he should have won one of the 2, and it wasn't the one that he won. But you could say that. He came off a year where he had 4,200 yards, 41 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. That was just throwing the ball. That doesn't include, obviously, how much better he was running. I guess I just would have thought the players, he's well-liked in the league, isn't he, by his peers? I mean, that's
very much
that had been true.
Yep.
That I know how I would feel if it was Allen. If Allen had ever had a year like that where he's playing through it, and he does do that to some extent, right? He had the foot thing at the end of last year.
Yeah.
So a guy that's battling through injury.
He played through a broken wrist, right? Left hand, or whatever. It's something on his thumb the year he jumped over Buda Baker.
Right. He does do this. Allen does play through injury a lot.
There's a lot of always something.
And I would want to think that if Allen had a year like that where it was really bad and he was still playing through it, he played 13 games, but you knew he was injured and that's why the numbers dropped. I would want to think the players or the coaches and executives, whoever, give the guy some benefit of the doubt for how great he had been in the previous seasons, that I wouldn't dock him that much for it. And I would take the same approach with Jackson. Now, should I be willing to say that Jackson's availability is beyond just last year? Because he's had a few issues previous in the past, right? They had to start Tyler Huntley in a playoff game once upon a time that he lost for them on a QB sneak.
Mm-hmm.
So, he might have a little bit more of a history, and that could be the difference. But I thought that was crazy low for him. It was the same as the top 10 quarterback list that came out yesterday. He ended up 6th. And what I noticed in that was that there were a few people, because they showed lowest ranking, and his was unranked. He was not ranked by some. And I would imagine that's got to be availability related.
Sure.
And I just was curious why Burrow wasn't lumped into that. Burrow was not ranked lower than 6th by anybody.
Did Burrow play a full season last year?
He played 8 games last year.
Oh, okay.
Why is that? He played 5 fewer games than Jackson did.
It's almost like it's funny when
and Burrow's going to be higher in the top 100 list.
When I ask you, did he play a full season last year? He has been so in and out of the lineup, it's hard to remember what seasons he's been able to play versus not play.
Right.
So Burrow's had a lot of that, right? Achilles, wrist,
ACL in his rookie year, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, he played 10 games as a rookie. He played 10 games in his 4th year, and he played 8 games last year in his 6th year. So I've got 6 years of Joe Burrow in the NFL. 3 of them, he's basically missed half the year. Jackson, it's a game here and there, but he's been in the league for 8 years, and I'd have to really go to games missed. He's never played fewer than 12 games in a season, though. And Burrow's played fewer than 12 games 3 times. So I think they're both incredible. I think they both deserve a lot of respect for how good they are. Like, when they are healthy, and I guess that's the part of this, but when they are healthy, they are tier 1 quarterbacks to me. Right there with Allen and Mahomes and whoever. But Jackson seems to be getting treated differently on some of these lists in the last couple of days than Burrow is. And that's weird to me.
Inexact. This ranking season of ours.
It is why I would say Allen is above all of them. Yeah. Allen is as consistently good as all of them, if not better. He's as good of a runner, and he is always there for the Bills. Whether his foot is broken into a bunch of pieces or his wrist isn't right, like he's there. And honestly, I don't know how much of a skill you want to put this on him because it's hard to know how hurt he actually is in these games. I don't know. I kind of want to give Allen credit for how good he plays through injury.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like Jackson, you see it when he's injured. It's evident. And with Allen, it's hard to tell sometimes what's bothering him. How much was he running last year on a broken foot? He still was running, wasn't he? He was running around in the Denver game when he tried to lateral, at least.
Yeah. 803-0550 and 1-888-552-550 to join us. Jeremy and Joe here. Football season getting closer. We're 2 weeks away from the start of training camp, 2 weeks from tomorrow. First 2 teams to report will be the Hall of Fame game, which is, again, Arizona and Carolina.
Correct. Yes. Isn't that only like a week earlier?
Yes.
Okay.
Rookies report for Carolina a week from today. Veterans a week from tomorrow.
Okay.
Carolina and Arizona. You see the pictures of Marvin Harrison all jacked up, shredded?
No.
Oh, no? Marvin Harrison.
He's at the gym.
The off-season, get shredded. Yeah. So he's in shape.
Are you thinking that's going to work for
I
him?
don't know. That I have no idea.
He's been a bit of a letdown so far.
That whole class, that wide receiver class, I mean, it ends up, I don't know that it's cursed, but let's go through it. Harrison has not lived up to it. Neighbors has. Now his knee injury, they're saying he's going to be out until week 5 or 6.
Yeah.
I don't like anything about that timeline. Adunze, very good, but also now a foot injury how's that going to affect him?
They're talking about it being like a permanent thing that he might be dealing with.
Yeah. The 2024 wide receiver class of that year, like the very famous, like,
yep,
it's going to be amazing. And they went, how many in the first round? Like 6 or 7. Then is Worthy the next one? No.
Brian Thomas.
Brian Thomas. Great rookie season and then falls apart.
Yep.
We'll see where he goes. I kind of like his potential future. Then it gets to Xavier Worthy, who I saw today at The Athletic, ranked him as a breakout candidate for this season. Worthy.
Okay.
Then Ricky Pearsall.
Nice player.
He's about to maybe have a year this year. We'll see. Xavier Legette. Not much.
No, he's lost.
Coleman.
Lost.
Ladd McConkey. Great rookie season, second half. Kind of a bad year last year. Jalen Polk. Washed out in New England pretty much.
Not even on the team.
A.D. Mitchell. A lot of good underlying numbers. Got traded. Malachi Corley, we're into the 3rd round. Jermaine Burton.
Yeah,
Roman
done.
Wilson.
We're done.
Jalen McMillan.
All right.
Troy Franklin. Javon Baker. Devontae Walker.
These are all the guys that were on our big board.
Yeah. Jacob Cowing, Anthony Gold.
I mean, who right now is the guy you'd most want to have? There's a redraft today. Who's the first receiver taken?
You would probably take your chances on Neighbors, even with the injury. He's of course that good, but the injury might mean that he's never the same.
It's tough though. Like I would maybe say even like McConkey would be the guy, and he was the 9th receiver taken.
Yeah.
He might be the one I would say if I could have any of them today, he might be the one. Just maybe because of health. Because of Dunze, I've got a bit of a question on that. Neighbors, I have a big question on that. Thomas, I don't know. I don't know on him at all. He's exciting. I would love if the Bills were to have traded for him at the deadline or something because of the potential, but I have no idea what he's going to be going forward.
Someone out there is maybe making the point and I'm going to make a counterpoint to the point that they might be making, which is just this. Like, oh, look at all that. It was supposed to be a great class.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Make it the other way, though. This is not supposed to be a great class of receivers in another given year, 2025, 26, whatever. You thought you had a great class. Another reason is this upcoming class, 2027, supposed to be, this one's going to be a great class.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So was 2024. 2024 was a ton of guys got taken. In 2025's draft class, how do we get onto this, by the way? Because of who? I just mentioned that Harrison's all jacked up.
And also that Worthy was named a breakout.
The 2025 class is Travis Hunter. He was good. They might not throw it to him enough. Tet McMillan.
Great.
Very good. Emeka Egbuka.
Really good.
Matthew Golden.
Good.
Jaden Higgins.
Good.
Luther Burden.
Really good.
Trey Harris. Jack Besh.
Trey Harris might be good. They're going to play him a lot more this year.
Kyle Williams. Isaac Tesla. He's also on that breakout list. Pat Bryant of the Broncos has done more things than most of those guys in the 2024 class.
Yeah.
Or at least shown a little more. So, hey, look at that. The year it's not a very good class is producing more than the year that it is a good class, which is always something I want to point out if you're going into a draft saying it's a crapshoot, we have X amount of first-round grades. Like, there's always this push and pull about how much you know about a class, how deep it is versus how not deep it is.
But I also would want to say that, like, the two guys that we would have spent time previous to that 2024 draft about a trade-up, because that was a big talking idea for many. Like
Brian Thomas.
You want to go big trade-up. That was even a smaller trade-up. It's still sizable. Let me go get Brian Thomas, or let me do the mega trade-up and get into the top 10 and get Rome Odunze. That I would say, especially about those guys that went into the top 10, like Neighbors and Odunze are amazing wide receivers. You just have health questions about them. And I guess if you want to include that in your point, about anyone's point about how you can't know and it's a crapshoot, well, sure, I guess. But what am I trying to really figure out when a guy comes into the league and they don't have a major injury history? I'm just trying to figure out how good they are, because injuries can happen to anybody. And I would say that you're 2 for 3 in that top 3. It was supposed to be all 3 are going to be excellent and are going to be bona fide number 1 true wide receivers. I feel like Neighbors is absolutely that.
Right.
But he just has a knee injury that you had no idea about was going to happen when he was drafted. And Odunze, I feel like, is pretty close to, like, he's a true number 1 receiver. I've just got stuff about him with a foot injury as well.
Yes. So
Harrison is the one that I would wonder, is he actually what he was supposed to be? Because so far, when he's on the field, there are bigger questions in addition to availability.
Well, to this point, let's do some quick comparisons. So I've got Matt Harmon's latest breakdowns of DJ Moore and Rome Odunze, former teammates, right? Odunze, the injury, and like, how did he do last year as a player, as a young guy who's on the outside, who hasn't, I don't think he's put up like the numbers.
But he started the season great last year. Yeah.
Harmon put up his profile on Rome Odunze. His percentile, where he ranks beating man coverage, 85th percentile. Beating press coverage, 93rd percentile.
Mm-hmm.
This is still a player that gets open and beats man coverage. Like DJ Moore last year, maybe he got tougher assignments. Man coverage, 40th. Press coverage, 45th. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Where's Marvin Harrison come in? I guess we're sitting here saying, like, Harrison was not all that good, not all that impressive.
Right.
Matt Harmon did his. He's posted a bunch of his stuff. And Marvin Harrison's percentile, man coverage, 80th.
Mm-hmm.
Press coverage, 77th. Like, these young guys that have not yet popped off, there's still a lot of potential there. So,
yeah, Odunze is somebody I would want to defend. Last year, it began really well for him before he had the foot thing, and then he was really trying to play through it and probably shouldn't have been out there. If you look at his first half of the year versus his second half of the year, his first, not even full first half, the first 7 games of Odunze's season last year, he was averaging 8 targets a game, and he was on pace for almost 1,200 yards. And then guess what? He had the remaining 9 weeks of the season. He had 188 yards. Like, that one to me is health. I think that player is excellent, but again, like the foot, you might be worried that that's going to be a lingering thing forever. But when I read about that earlier in the offseason, I immediately thought of Sammy Watkins. Like, is this going to be an injury that bothers him the whole time he's playing in the NFL? And he never, maybe he's 80% of the player, 70% of the player that he's capable of, but he'll never be 100% of it. If I were the Bears, I'd be a little worried about that.
Yeah,
the good news for them is they have Burden and Loveland. Like, they have two other great pass catchers if Adunze can never realize his full potential.
803-0550 to join us. Jeremy and Joe on WGR. Paul, do you think there's any sort of calculus to, as we talk about Mallenstein and Krebs both being like fairly well-paid fourth liners, that the Sabres might look at the way that they are built in the present day and think, well, we want to keep the group of forwards together, and while sure you might be able to get somebody to do that job for $2 million, we're a team that isn't paying anybody at forward 11, 12, 15. We don't have to go basement shopping for fourth liners, so we're in a position to pay it well, and we want to be the best fourth line in hockey. I mean, like, I feel like that's not something you'd ever shoot for, but in the short term, I'm not making a case for it. I wonder if you think there's any calculus behind that.
Well, I think you look at it to the player itself. Who are we talking about? If you're the Sabres, who are we thinking about? Who are we talking about? What does Beck Mallenstein do for us? How much is that worth to us? To what he does. Same thing with Carrick. What does he do? What does he bring to the table? What does Danforth bring to the table? I mean, Danforth only played 4 games last year. He's at $1.8 million. And they were expecting obviously more from him before he broke his kneecap. That's what you're basically looking at is Carrick, Danforth, and Mallenstein, to be that line for you. All right, where does Krebs go? Again, well, where's Helenius and where's Ostlund? What are you doing with them? Where are you going with them? Where's Kulik? Is he going to be up top with Thompson? Are you just going to slide Krebs in with them? Just to start, if everybody's healthy. Which, again, before everybody panics here about what we're talking about, the chances of everybody being healthy on opening night are not all that good. I mean, everybody we're looking at right now, I'd be shocked if everybody is healthy. That's just not the way sports goes, especially through training camp. So it probably is not going to be a problem they're going to have to deal with, but it could be.
Sabres made some moves yesterday, including signing Peyton Krebs to a $4 by $4.5 million per year deal. They also hired John Davidson, senior advisor. Davidson spent 18 seasons as president of hockey operations for St. Louis, Columbus, and the New York Rangers. For more, Paul Hamilton has a plethora of pieces up at our website, WGR550.com. Semifinals begin in the World Cup today. France takes on Spain at 3. They'll continue tomorrow with Argentina and England at 3 as well. Around the NFL, the Packers, they signed linebacker Isaiah McDuffie to a 1-year contract extension. And in baseball, the home run derby came down to an exciting finish as Jordan Walker stunned Kyle Schwarber, becoming the Cardinals' first derby champ. With the derby wrapped up, the All-Star game tonight at 8 o'clock. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Joe Cali for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
Alvarez! Oh! That is a wondrous goal!
3 o'clock today, back to the World Cup. Spain and France today. Spain has given up 8 shots in 6 games.
Yeah.
Will they give up 8 shots today?
I'll say yes.
I wonder what the total is.
I think it opens up a little bit. Yeah, they've only allowed... have they allowed a goal? They have not allowed a goal, right?
Spain...
They allowed one. One to Belgium.
Gotcha. It's a great example of, like, what happens early in the tournament doesn't matter. Here they are, a step away from the final. They tied Cabo Verde.
Yeah, their first game.
Yeah, first game. Oh, my goodness. And they're fine.
We also learned along the way that Cabo Verde was a little more competitive than we thought they were.
True. They gave Argentina trouble.
They drew Argentina. They drew Uruguay. They drew Argentina in 90. They drew Uruguay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That dangerous Cabo Verde team.
Yeah.
So today, Spain and France. We've had a ton of fun with our World Cup of Joe segment. Down to 2 teams. And also countries I feel like we know pretty well.
Yeah.
Or better, at least.
And are also similar in some ways.
And neighbors.
They're neighbors in addition to that. I do have a different iteration of World Cup of Joe.
Okay.
If you would like it.
You know, why not?
If you 3 would like to play a different version where I give you 3 facts about both countries and you have to put 3 and 3.
Okay.
Give it a shot?
Let's go.
But we've already gone through a lot of facts. You've learned a lot about these countries already.
Very true.
6 facts. You have to put 3 under France, 3 under Spain.
Okay.
By the way, I learned in my fact digging that these 2 countries, France and Spain, they split a town.
Yes.
There's a town where 6 months of the year it's in France, and the other 6 months of the year it's in Spain.
Whoa.
Hold on a second. What? I'm so upset you didn't just make that a question. So
I didn't know how to make it like
so I could
it's not really an either or.
So I could give a very Owen. That's Pheasant Island.
Right.
Because I learned about that in just,
your travels?
Yes. Pheasant Island. 6 months of the year it's one and then the other.
Yeah.
Who gets summer, who gets winter?
That's a good question.
I don't think anybody lives on it. Right? It's pretty small.
Pheasants?
I thought I saw a couple
not that many. It's not like
pictures of houses.
It's not like Grand Island. Like it's small.
No, you're right. It's an uninhabited uninhabited island.
Well, whatever.
Uninhabited river island.
Like Strawberry Island out there in the Niagara.
Yes.
Sure, right. Why was it contested to a point that
split it?
needed to split it if it's uninhabited
Right.
and so tiny?
Great
why
question.
wasn't France just like, all right, yeah, you guys can have
Potential military base or something, maybe?
Not even that big.
Thinking
I don't
about
think.
it?
Not
No?
even?
Pretty
No,
small.
it's 1.6 acres.
Okay, yeah.
it? Okay, wow, yeah, that's what?
Yeah.
Okay, but it looks like it's been used in the past because I have a painting of Louis the 18th and Philip the 4th meeting on Pheasant Island, and it looks like there's like a building of some sort. So maybe they've used it
Maybe it was
Before?
some sort of neutral site.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Small news.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hold on, I'm getting news right here. The NHL is going to play an outdoor game there this year on Pheasant Island. Blackhawks and Penguins.
Sounds good.
I think you could barely fit a rink on there. No, you could fit a rink.
All right, so our three
All right.
facts for each country.
Fact number 1. This country is a baby jumping festival.
Oh, I'm into that.
Wow.
400-year-old festival where men run and jump over a mattress lined with actual babies.
Okay, now I'm less into that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I thought babies were jumping.
Yeah, we're doing the
No.
vertical test for the
400-year-old
babies.
festival. They
Okay.
jump over babies.
Okay, that's one fact.
How many
Spain-
babies you jump, bro?
Spain or France?
Fact number 2. This country's capital city's mascot is a bear eating fruit.
Okay.
And there are statues of it all over the city.
Okay.
right.
Fact number 3. Potatoes were illegal in this country at one point.
Guy.
Were considered unfit for human consumption.
Okay.
Fact 4. This country has some establishments with a politeness tax. Your price adjusts based on your manners.
Okay.
Fact 5. This country once attempted to change calendars and clocks to 10 days, 10 hours per day, 100 minutes per hour, and 100 seconds per minute. They tried to go 10, like they tried to do a decimal.
Try to go metric system and
Yeah,
clocks.
their own. They would try to do their own thing.
Okay.
Finally, leader in the world in organ donation, most per capita.
Okay. I've got a couple I want to get on the board, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got
I mean, they could be wrong, but
Have you been to Madrid?
no.
Okay. You've been to Spain, but not to Madrid.
Correct.
Okay.
But I do think that the bear eating fruit is going to be Spain
I think that's
and
right.
Madrid.
Agreed.
I think I just kind of gave that away.
No, I
somehow.
had that written
You
down
had
as
that
like
already.
lock it
Yeah,
in.
no, I had that.
Lock it
I asked
in.
if you
thought
had
that
been
was
to
right,
Madrid
too.
before.
Yeah, that was a bad job
That
by
was a
you,
bad
but
job.
it didn't cost you because I was going to have
Yeah,
that
we
too.
we
so.
we were there.
That is correct, though. A bear eating fruit. It's on their coat of arms. It's the statues all over the
Okay.
city.
I would like to immediately follow up with the politeness tax one.
Okay.
I think that is also Spain because in France, everyone's rude.
It's true.
Yes.
It's not Spain.
Oh.
I mean, go to France. The idea is that they're mean to you.
But that's how you'll get more money out of them. Because if they're rude, it's okay. Like the thing I'm reading about it is the menu will literally state if you rudely demand a coffee, you'll be charged €7. If you say a coffee please, it drops to $4.25. If you say hello, a coffee please, you only pay $1.40.
At one restaurant?
This is just at one example. Yeah.
Wow. What a societal construct that is.
I
That's
feel like
crazy.
I would be pretty annoyed.
You would be?
Well, it's only going to cost you more.
Yeah.
I know. That's the thing. Is like I'd get annoyed that
Does your mortgage
that
go
was
down?
a thing, and then
Yeah.
I don't know. That would be bad. I'd spiral out of it.
You would spite the
I'd
the nice
freak out.
tax
Yeah,
and
I
freak
think I'd
out.
be-
See, these are the
'Cause I'm
people, though, by
nice.
them being more rude. You need that. You need this law for them.
Yeah.
Balances it
Right.
out.
All right. Politeness tax is France.
I think I've got one that I want to hammer down.
Go for it. I got one too.
I do. Wasn't a YouTube video. I remember this from one of my history classes, world history classes. Potatoes were illegal in France.
That's my
I
guy.
had that written down too.
That's my guy.
Yeah, yes.
They thought they were unchristian, if I'm remembering correctly, or something
Our
like
curriculum was similar, Joe Kelly, because I remember the same thing.
that. Yes.
I don't have that they were unchristian, but I do have that French Parliament banned them. They were believed to cause leprosy and were considered unfit for human consumption.
Okay.
Okay. We got that one. We got 3 in the bag. Baby jumping festival changed calendars and clocks to the 10-10-10s.
Yep.
And leader in organ donation.
There's something about the 10-10-10s thing that makes me feel like France would be presumptuous enough to think that they could change the entire Earth's time-telling habits that I think fits here. Does that make sense for anybody else?
I'm with you.
Or are you like Spain for this?
But I don't know. I'm kind of split on this one more than anything because Spain did a lot back in the day. You know?
I mean, that's definitely true.
They weren't. They would also be the ones to be like, we're going to try and change something here.
It's fair.
If we can leave that one maybe for a minute.
That's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm not particularly convicted about it.
Let's just go with organ donation then.
Okay.
Spain.
Correct.
I think, I was going to say, it wouldn't fit with our rude
in Spain.
thinking.
All of my takes on France were based on they're going to want to be rude to you.
Right.
Right. Yeah, in Spain, you're already an organ donor. You have to opt out versus here where it's the other way around.
There you go.
Cool.
Boy, anytime somebody does that in America, that is controversy.
Yeah.
If they're not an organ donor?
No, if you have to opt out of something.
Oh, right, yeah.
That generates headlines here.
Yes.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Leader in organ donation.
Okay.
Pro Bowl.
And then so that leaves us with the baby jumping festival, and we are
The time
Your
telling.
clock
clocks.
/ calendars.
The French wanted their own thing. They always do.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Late
Good job, Owen.
1700s. It was abandoned in the early 1800s because workers hated it because a 10-day week would mean fewer weekends.
10-day week.
What is that?
Do they have names for all the days? I mean, I guess they had to have.
I have to, right?
Let me find that. I don't have that here, but they must. Yeah, they must have.
Is it a
or did they
3-day
keep?
weekend or
did
a
they
4-day
keep the
weekend?
7 days they already have, and then just add 3 more?
Or do they have like Monday and then Monday B,
2.
and then Tuesday and Tuesday 2? Yeah. All right.
That's a good question.
World Cup of Joe.
Huh.
Today's game, 3 o'clock, is in Jerry World. It's in Dallas.
Yes.
Nick Mendola will be there. Our buddy Nick, who's been giving us great coverage of the World Cup, checking in when he can. We'll talk to him after the England-Argentina semifinal.
All right.
The 10 days, by the way, were numerically named after Latin and French numbers, so it wasn't Monday, anything like that.
Oh, today's 1.
First day, second day, third day, fourth day. That's all it was. It just went to 10th day.
Gotcha.
Right.
That sucks.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Root for England. Right? The other three
Root
teams,
for-
the other 3 have won the World Cup in the last 16 years, in the last 4 World Cups.
Yeah, I'm hardcore on
Like
Argentina.
I got
for
Spain,
approval,
Argentina, and France. Like these guys have just won.
I think I want
Germany. Is Germany the
Argentina.
other one?
Germany won in 2014, I believe.
Yeah. So like the last 4 winners are Argentina, France, Germany, and Spain.
I kind of like. I mean, I'm on Argentina because of our pool, and I need them to win and then lose in the final. So I guess this is kind of messed up. But I would love to see Messi get another one.
Yeah.
Like that would be pretty awesome.
I think I'm Team Messi. Also, I think I want to see Argentina win back to back.
I saw a stat that was like the top contributors of each team in shots, shot assists, goals, passes completed, like 7 different criteria. And every team, it was France, 7 names, 6, 7 names. England, 5, 6, 7 names. Spain, 5, 6, 7 names. Argentina, Messi.
Yep.
Like he's doing it all.
He's incredible.
Not that he's the only good player, but that he literally leads them in almost every whatever, not all the categories, but the ones that were there that day in that tweet.
Yeah, I think I want Messi to win another one.
All right.
Go in 2. 39 years old. It's a great story. He's the biggest star in the sport. He's easy to root for, right? Like there's no real reason to root against him, is there?
Well, for me, it's I'm just rooting for England. Rooting for all those players. I know all those guys.
Yeah, the England story would be cool.
It'd be incredible. It would lead me. We would be able to come in the next day, and I'd say, another team did what we need the Bills to do. Finally, do the thing that they have to do.
Would be a good omen.
Yes, it would be added to the list. England hasn't won it since 1966. How about another team that their fans need it like air would finally get the thing? I can't stop seeing all the narrative arcs where that does happen, and I want more of it until the Bills win the Super Bowl. So give me that again.
At some point, though, do you want the Bills to be like the only team left standing here that hasn't achieved that?
Like, I certainly don't want them to.
It's getting lonely up here.
No. You can find one all the time, no matter what. You'll just move on to the next one.
If England wins, right? Who else is going to be up there? I mean,
in the World Cup, the Netherlands.
Just in sports in
Portugal
general.
and the Netherlands. In sports. All right, let's go by championships by date. What'll be the next championship? The World Series?
Yeah.
Like, all right, what's the team that has to win the World Series that hasn't? The Blue Jays are on the list. It's been a while, and they've been close, but of course they won in the 90s.
The maybe. I don't the Pirates. But see, they're not good though. I need a team that's good, that's been knocking on the door.
The Guardians.
They can't win.
Is it the Guardians? Indians/Guardians?
All right. Sure.
I mean, they got there and lost in 7 to the Cubs.
Okay.
They'd be on the list of teams.
Yeah.
Come on, do it.
I need. Have they been good though? Like what I need for this is the team that's been great, knocking on the door, and they just can't get there.
How about,
in addition to they haven't won in a long time.
Sure. How about college football champions? You want to do that one? Who's that? Is this?
They probably have some teams for this.
Yeah. Is it
Notre Dame?
Well, it's been a long. Yeah, sure, long time for Notre Dame. Is I'm trying to think like who else recently. In golf, it happens too. In every sport.
Yeah, with Rory winning now, I mean, maybe you get to like Fleetwood or something for that. Like a guy who's been great, but doesn't have a major.
Is Oregon this?
That's a great one.
Oregon.
Yes, Oregon's a great one.
Get Oregon over the top. Like, get one.
Yeah. The Bills are number 1 for it, though. For sure right now.
Edmonton, another one. You've been there. Like, yeah, so England,
they're there too.
England is one of these teams that before the tournament, they're that for me, and I want those teams, those narratives, those stories to keep happening. So let's get another one.
Let me put it this way: I will probably be rooting for whoever wins the England-Argentina game in the final.
Okay.
I couldn't see myself rooting for Spain or France over either one of them.
Definitely not France. Not that I hate them at all. They've got great players, and I've got nothing against Mbappe, but I just don't think I would root for France. 803-0550, World Cup, 3 o'clock today, Spain and France from Dallas. Jeremy and Joe on WGR. Krebs goes up and down the lineup, and I think he's got one of those, when the Sabres tweeted out the contract extension, they tweeted out, our Swiss Army knife.
Yes.
And I think that's probably right.
I think it's like half right. It's right at 5-on-5.
Okay.
Like, there are... The guy that I mentioned as I think the closest comparable that signed to him this offseason when we talked about this early last week was Jack Drury, who signed in Nashville. What was his deal? 5 years, $4.5 million per year for a small center that's better defensively but can put up a little bit in the points department. And he got 5 years, $4.5 million per year. What did Krebs get? 4 years, $4.5 million per year.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that far off. Krebs has that ability. Like that files under Swiss Army knife. You could play him on the wing, you could play him at center, you could play him on line 1, you could play him on line 4. Like I think that qualifies. However, like what Drury does that Krebs doesn't do, Krebs is not a face-off specialist at all, so he doesn't give you that niche, and he does not play any special teams. Like Mallenstein, at least what he would give you is this is a penalty killer who's going to throw his body in front of shots and block them. And Krebs played 11 minutes of penalty kill time last year. Like he does not do it. So I don't get him on power play. I don't get him on penalty kill. I don't get him doing face-offs at a good rate, 44%. So yeah, I feel like it's. I don't want to go all in on Swiss Army knife, or else I'd like him to be able to do one of those things. Give me another role, another specialty role, and maybe he'll grow into that. He might just be asked to play penalty kill this year because Tuck's no longer going to do it, and somebody's going to have to. So I think I could get there with him there. I guess it depends what's more valuable to you. Is it more valuable to be a great penalty killer like Mallenstein, or is it more valuable to have a fourth liner that can go up to the top 6 if he needs to? And even I would tell you I think the latter is probably more valuable.
Maybe.
Isn't it?
I guess it all depends on how you sell it. Like fourth liner that jumps up into the top 6, which Krebs does from time to time, has its value. And I think everyone feels, I shouldn't say this, that everyone feels the exact same about Krebs, but I do feel like there's just a general, okay. His arc has been interesting. He was the guy in the Eichel trade who was supposed to be the really prized prospect piece. Mm-hmm. And if I told you the day of the Eichel trade what he would end up being, would you think, oh, that's a good return? I think the answer is no.
I think I would lean no.
I think you might have hoped that guy would turn into like at worst, 50-point
second line center.
Yeah, that's probably what you were hoping to get. Instead, he ends up going like to the fourth line with Granato and putting the work in and doing what he's asked and keeping a job in the league and sometimes fighting and sometimes getting scrappy. Paul, do you think there's any sort of calculus to, as we talk about Mallenstein and Krebs both being like fairly well-paid fourth liners, that the Sabres might look at the way that they are built in the present day and think, well, we want to keep the group of forwards together, and while sure you might be able to get somebody to do that job for $2 million, we're a team that isn't paying anybody at forward 11, 12, 15. We don't have to go basement shopping for fourth liners, so we're in a position to pay it well, and we want to be the best fourth line in hockey. I mean, like, I feel like that's not something you'd ever shoot for, but in the short term, I'm not making a case for it. I wonder if you think there's any calculus behind that.
Well, I think you look at it to the player itself. Who are we talking about? If you're the Sabres, who are we thinking about? Who are we talking about? What does Beck Mallenstein do for us? How much is that worth to us? To what he does. Same thing with Carrick. What does he do? What does he bring to the table? What does Danforth bring to the table? I mean, Danforth only played 4 games last year. He's at 1 point.
Everybody, it's going to be hot out there today. You probably knew that. Heat index over 100 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Saw an article in the Globe and Mail that Canada should stick to hockey and give up on soccer.
Wow.
Cathal Kelly wrote at the Globe and Mail, stick to hockey.
They just had their best soccer year ever.
Put it up there with worst take. She's like, I'm sorry, you just think that we should stop trying at a sport?
Yeah.
If it's not hockey, we shouldn't play it. All right, I guess. Anyway, yeah.
As long as we know all the best Canadian athletes play soccer and not hockey. Or something. I don't know. Is that in there?
Who knows?
They needed Alphonso Davies to be a center to win the gold medal. That was their problem.
Speaking of soccer, you mentioned that poll that men under 30 believe they could score a World Cup penalty goal. Or
Yes.
men.
Men, yeah. 32% believe they would score a
41% of men under 30 think they could. Okay. Jeremy and Joe, 803-0550 on WGR. A little more on the Bills when we get back. We're 2 weeks and a day from the start of training camp. Kick in about this defense a little bit. Get your thoughts. Waiting for more Hellebuck rumors. Give me a rumor, somebody.
The GM stood up there at the end of the season press conference and said, well, I don't want to sign Alex Tuch if it's going to be a deal where we basically have to say goodbye to guys. And then they let Tuch go, who is a 30-goal, 60-point top-line winger who plays power play, who plays penalty kill, who's incredibly fast, who is big. And they said, okay, because we don't want to say goodbye to the guys like Peyton Krebs and Beck Mallenstein and Jason Zucker or Ryan McLeod, guys that I think are really good in the roles they play, but they play the most replaceable positions in the sport. Like when you play fourth line, especially the wingers, that's the most replaceable thing in hockey. So they spent $13 million on this year, like, well, I didn't want to say goodbye to Krebs, Mallenstein, and Zucker in order to pay Alex Tuch. Well, okay, that cost you $13 million for 3 guys like that.
Yeah.
When you couldn't have just plugged Tyson Kozak and Justin Danforth into very replaceable roles at $1 million and paid your $10 million top-line winger. I think that was... The more their offseason goes and they give out contracts to guys like this that are just okay, I think I want them... I want to go back and think to myself, I wanted them to sign Tuch even more.
Yeah, well... I thought you were going to finish that sentence with, the more the offseason goes by and they're giving out contracts to guys that are okay, the more they feel like the Bills. Like, that's what I thought you were going to say.
That's good, too, though.
That, like, everybody is, hey, it's draft and develop, it's keep our own, it's, you know, these guys that we brought in are better than other options. And maybe they are, but if you could redo it today, you think Tuch is the better plan?
I think if I could spend $13 million on either... Zucker, they didn't sign this offseason.
That's right.
I just went into the offseason thinking like he could be a guy you would move to create space. If you gave me 2 options, I could have Zucker, Mallenstein, and Krebs at $13 million, or I could have Tuch, Danforth, and Kozak. I think I would take Tuch, Kozak, and Danforth.
Yeah.
I will get away with $1 million fourth line guys that play the most replaceable positions in the sport. And yes, what I'll be losing is if I run into injuries, what can Peyton Krebs do that Tyson Kozak definitely cannot? He cannot go up and play with Tage Thompson and whoever else is playing on that top line. I would be losing that. Can Kozak do what Mallenstein does on the penalty kill, and can he hit the way he does, and can he shot block? Like, I don't know if you're losing that too, but whatever. First line's more important than fourth line.
It's just a nonstop exercise to want to believe that there are certain greats that are on a level you could never touch, and it's more narrative than anything. What happened the last time Patrick Mahomes was in the Super Bowl? You could have pick one guy today, one guy to win this game for you. Your life depends on it. Mahomes or Hurts? Who do you take? Be honest. Who'd you take? Mahomes. And lost by like 40. So tough one. Tough pick for you. It's been a while since Mahomes has looked like the guy you want to take. That point itself, what year is it? Is it 4 years ago? If it's 4 years ago, like, I got it depends. Is there a coin toss before to determine which of the quarterbacks gets to play?
Right.
Because in one of Mahomes' most signature wins, he wins the toss. What happens if he doesn't win the toss? I mean, all right. How many years will it be this way? If he never wins another Super Bowl, does he still get that distinction? Can it be Matthew Stafford if Stafford wins this year? How many more years of Mahomes just has to be your default answer?
Some moves yesterday for the Sabres, including signing Peyton Krebs to a $4 million per year deal. And they hired John Davidson as senior advisor. Davidson spent 18 seasons as president of hockey operations for St. Louis, Columbus, and the New York Rangers. The semifinals begin in the World Cup today. France takes on Spain at 3 o'clock. They'll continue tomorrow with Argentina and England. And around the NFL, the Packers, they signed linebacker Isaiah McDuffie to a one-year contract extension. In baseball, the home run derby came down to an exciting finish as Jordan Walker stunned Kyle Schwarber, becoming the Cardinals' first derby champion. With the derby wrapped up, the All-Star game tonight at 8 o'clock. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Joe Cali for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
I don't think I want to sort of look towards the future and worry about or think that I have to win a major to feel fulfilled. I think it might happen for me, it might not. I don't want to think about it as, if it doesn't happen, oh my God, like, all of those hours I spent chasing my dreams, what was it for, kind of thing. So, whatever happens in my career, I will have, I'll be able to look back and say that I gave it everything. I had an amazing time doing it. I would definitely much prefer to have a major or two or three, in my, on my resume by the time my career's over. So, done a lot in my career so far, but yeah, there's still plenty more to go.
That is 35-year-old Tommy Fleetwood, who has one PGA Tour win, 8 European Tour wins, but no majors for him. Put him on the list, Joe. Guys that it would be, if he won it, I would immediately look at the Bills. Like, all right, it's the year that Fleetwood did it. It's the Bills' year. Boy, if we get to Sunday at the Open Championship and Tommy Fleetwood is in a position to win, I will hoot and holler for that guy to win.
Yeah, it'd be sweet.
He's great. He's
likable.
Yeah.
Good.
Absolutely.
Also, him winning the Open Championship would be a pretty cool one for him to win.
Yes, absolutely.
I love the Open Championship. Give me cloudy and rainy.
Yeah, you rank this as
elements. I want elements.
Number 2 behind the Masters?
Yeah. This is my second favorite one. Was I alone on that? I was on an island?
For me, it depends on where the U.S. Open is.
Okay. Yeah, because I almost don't even care where the Open Championship is. It's going to give me the same.
Well,
it gives me what I want.
Isn't that because you can't tell the difference between any of the courses?
A little bit.
I mean, like, is this Birkdale or Portrush or? I mean, I know like the aficionados out there could tell the difference. For us, it's just, it's wide open out there. It's a links course.
I want a links course. I want it to be gray and rainy, and I want a cliff with an ocean next to it.
You want to give a pick?
A pick?
Yeah, we got a pick. I got a pick
to win it.
Yeah.
I like. And we'll just go chalk and say Rory.
Rory looked like he was well on his way last week.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden forgot how to play golf.
And was caught on a hot mic saying,
I'm
suck
so
at
bad
golf,
at golf.
I'm so bad at golf.
Yeah. Yep.
I think I would, if I'm making a bet this week, I think I would maybe take a look at Matt Fitzpatrick.
That is exactly who I'm on.
Was it? Really?
Yep. Already in.
Matt
Already
Fitzpatrick.
in on Matthew Fitzpatrick.
Okay.
Yep. I saw some. It's kind of funny when you look into like the deep stats and these things like, oh, this new indicator says this. Like, oh, all right, that sounds like it's good. It's like bunker escape rate.
Okay.
There's something like sold me on it. Sold. Let's do it. Matt Fitzpatrick because of his bunker escape rate.
Okay.
Whatever that means.
He's good at it?
Presumably.
He does the cross grip with chipping. I don't know if he does that in the bunker.
I don't think you could do that in the bunker. But he goes...
No, because you'd have to open
He goes
up
left
a lot.
hand low when he chips?
Yeah. I think he's the only guy that does that. I mean, a lot of guys do it putting now. But he does it as when he chips.
The Open Championship. The only thing about the Open Championship that stinks is that it's over by, what, like 2 p.m.?
Yeah, but morning sports are good.
Yeah,
as long as it's not too early. But
This
I guess
time
is too
this time of year, if it's the Masters, I'd be cool with the Masters ending at 2. There's other stuff on during the day. This is the Open Championship will end, and what have I got? I mean, I got baseball games.
You got outside.
The World Cup is over.
The sun's out.
No, but I need a 5 o'clock sporting event to hit is what I need.
In the
Late
summer,
afternoon.
I don't need my late. In the summer, I want sports to be done by 1 o'clock. And
Well,
2
you're
o'clock.
gonna get
I'm gonna go to a bonfire at night instead.
How many bonfires have you been to this summer?
Like 3.
3. It's a good number.
Weekends, weekends are good for
Are we talking fires or real?
Okay, sorry, fires.
Go outside for a fire.
Yeah, no, right. When does it become a bonfire?
When a wood pallet is added to it.
Okay, well, then I guess I've been to
Is that
zero.
wrong? There have to be planks of wood for it to be a bonfire.
Planks of wood?
Planks. A bonfire doesn't have a enclosure.
Okay, it's more out in.
It's on the dirt. It's on the ground.
I always
going
think,
up from the ground.
What about on the
I always
beach?
think bonfire. I think all the stuff piled up in sort of a teepee shape.
Got to be a little more chaotic for a bonfire.
Yeah.
So generally,
You
I
have
see
to have
one of
a
those a year.
slight concern for a nearby structure.
I was just gonna say it has to feel a little scary.
Yeah.
Okay.
It also has to be taller than you.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Ooh.
I can't.
That's a tough
That's
for
tough
Owen.
for
Aren't
me.
bonfires supposed to be tall?
7-foot bonfire is a pretty big bonfire.
I'm thinking bigger than that if you're doing a real bonfire.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
The ones we used to have at like the back of the school and stuff like that were giant.
Yeah, they are big.
All right. I don't know if it's taller than me, but I've got.
These are a bonfire is taller than a person.
Like a 10-foot flame, are we feeling?
Yeah.
Here, you tell me. This is a fire on a beach. Is that a bonfire?
No.
That's not. I mean, there's no enclosure,
that's
like you said.
No,
Just a campfire?
It's a campfire. Bonfires
That's
are
from like 30 feet away.
somebody
by
that
the way.
sets
It's like-
bonfires call. We need a bonfire expert here. A bonfire has wood stacked up in like a very pointy, triangular, teepee, conical.
Yeah.
Here's a video. You tell me this there's a big like thing in the middle of it.
That's a
bonfire.
I was gonna say, look, that looks more like a pyre, if I may.
I don't even know what that is. We've gone, what? A pyre?
That's one. A pyre is actually part of a bonfire. That's one.
It's kind of it's almost like a dead tree that's growing out of the middle of the fire.
Yeah, that's what you've got going on.
Yeah. All right, so I haven't been to a bonfire then. I've been to fires.
Yeah. I've only been to a few fires. No bonfires for me.
But I want to do stuff outside. I want to go golfing. Give me sports in the morning, in the summer. I'll take my night sports in the winter when it's dark out at 4:30. right? No?
Yeah, in both cases, all I'm saying is in both cases, I want sports on at 5 p.m. I don't want it to. I'm not saying that I need the Masters to move early. I'm saying there are other things that are on. In the winter, there's lots of stuff on. This week we'll get to Sunday, and I'll think, all right, what am I popping on as I, finish yard work or whatever we end up doing.
I will say the first tee times at the Open Championship are not quite. They're a little earlier than I thought they were.
Yeah?
1:35 in the morning.
Whoa. All right, I like my sports early.
Maybe it'll be up. Like Gary Woodland, he's off at 2:52 a.m. See, but when you get here Friday morning, it's on already.
Yeah, that's going to be great.
Scheffler tees off at 4:58.
I have no problem with sports being on early. I need it to be on late.
Look at this, by the way.
Maybe when they get to the turn, they could just wait for 4 hours.
Wake up early, 4:58. Watch Scheffler, Hatton, and DeChambeau. We can get some fireworks in that group.
Ooh.
You got the best golfer in the world and 2 hotheads.
Lots of swearing.
Bryson misses these cuts all the time.
Yeah.
We talked last week about Bryson's 34-minute YouTube video about
did
why he's missing cuts. A tell-all.
Yeah.
Enough already with this guy.
Hold on. I didn't watch it. Was it anything other than I'm not playing good enough golf?
I couldn't stick with it for more than 20 seconds.
Yeah.
I
it's him sitting with a camera in his kitchen just telling you why he's missing cuts.
Yeah.
37 minutes, huh?
Right.
All right. Good for him. 803-0550, 1-888-550-2550. In the chat, the reference to the Texas A&M bonfire has come up, which is a tragedy. That was a big bonfire.
I don't think
it collapsed. Like the structure collapsed and people died.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's how big that fire gets. Like they built a structure up, and when I think bonfire, like that's the biggest one of all, of course. But anyway,
wasn't there a fire at an LSU game? The Auburn barn fire that was outside the stadium. You could see the smoke from behind the stadium.
Take your word for it.
I believe that too.
How do you guys feel about the s'more game adding in, again, this is like a summer topic. See, one of these guys just might get furious. S'mores are, graham cracker, chocolate, marshmallow, graham cracker sandwich.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the introduction of Reese's instead of chocolate? Cookies and cream?
Yes.
Caramel?
No.
That's a regular thing for me. I do that on s'mores. Reese's Cup on a s'more changes lives. That's all I got to say.
Isn't the peanut butter going to melt all over everything?
That's the point. Doesn't the chocolate melt all over everything?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I will say, when I was off a couple weeks ago, I had seen this and said to myself, that looks amazing. I've got to try it.
Oh,
not a fan.
And I love Reese.
man.
I love Reese Cup, but it's a lot of business being done in that.
It's
in between those graham crackers.
I agree. It's a little thick for the s'more.
Yeah,
a little thick.
It just doesn't quite. And then the marshmallow just squeezes out more than it normally would.
Yeah.
And it's a real. I got to tell you, it's not for me. I could get down with the cookies and cream Hershey bar maybe, if I want to change it up a little bit.
Can I elevate your Reese's experience to the point where it might turn the tide? You got to get the Reese's Thins.
Oh.
The thinner cups.
Less peanut butter.
Little
this
less.
Is a veteran
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah. You
I
gotta
was
get the
not
Thins.
familiar with your game.
Yeah. Okay, now I'm back. Okay.
Gonna have to try it. I've never tried the cookies and cream. I'll have to try that.
That sounds good.
Is there
But
any...
I tried it. I even tried. I'd seen you dip it in fluff to do.
Ooh.
Like you like dip it in the fluff and then roast that, and like that was a nightmare. I don't know how that's being done.
This sounds so messy.
Yeah, exactly, and it's just not work. Like s'mores is already right on the border of like I cannot handle how messy this thing is.
Right.
But it's so great that you kind of deal with that. And to me, the degree of improvement does not match the degree of worsening of the mess.
Yeah.
And I just can't reconcile.
It's like if you were to be offered, what if you could watch a Stanley Cup final game during the Super Bowl? And you're like, why would I want to do that?
Yeah,
I don't want to do that.
I get it, but no.
Oh, but these things are all so great together. Like, yeah, but no, thank you.
Right. Totally.
I mean,
is there any other candy you could even try this with? Like you wouldn't put a Twix on a s'more,
Butterfinger.
right?
I mean, I'll try anything once.
Butterfinger again, but it's going to be too thick. I love the concept of that flavor-wise, but I don't think that would functionally work. Butterfinger also shatters like glass.
I don't know what that would happen to that though if we started like heating it up.
Might start smoking.
Don't know.
Right. Turn into some sort of, I don't know.
All I know is that my wife's been texting me about the bonfire conversation. I know that this conversation about bonfires means that we've got our family vacation coming up in a couple of weeks, that when we go out, like all of a sudden our fire, whatever we were going to have, just by having this talk, it got 10 feet bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My father-in-law listening is like, oh, here we go. Let's build a big one.
I've been challenged.
That's what she said. She's like, we're going to get a big one now.
Yeah.
Anyway, 803-0550 and 1-888-550-2550 to join us. It is, summer. You want to yell about the Bills' defense, anybody? I said we were going to get to it a little bit.
There is another list today, by the way.
Top 10 Bills defensive players.
No, not on that.
Top 10 most concerning Bills defensive players.
No, I don't have that list for you.
Top 10 most defensive players.
I have executives and coaches ranking the best linebackers in the NFL.
A list the Bills will not see.
No, not in the top 10, not in honorable mention, and not in others receiving votes. Carson Schweisinger, interestingly, is the third best linebacker in football now, according to executives and scouts and coaches. And the Bills reportedly liked him a lot. Two drafts ago?
Yeah, he's like a multiverse player for me because I remember the day of the draft, or maybe the day before the draft, Schefter mocked the Bills at the end of the first round. And I thought, linebacker? I don't know if they would go linebacker, and they didn't. They went Max Hairston instead,
right.
And he went first pick of the second round, right?
Yes.
So soon after. And again, like every single draft pick ends up, early on at least, high picks end up doing this. Okay, let's say they have their pick, and they take Carson Schweisinger. They take him. We would say, like, wow, linebacker, that's interesting. They do not extend Bernard, right?
Well, maybe they already had?
Bernard got extended last offseason.
Right.
So
but when?
Maybe they would have extended him. It's during camp, is it not?
They signed him to a 4-year, $50 million extension on March 7th.
Okay, before the draft. So before the draft.
Before the draft.
So then they have Bernard and Schweisinger then, I guess.
And Milano.
Well, yeah, right. And they don't have Hairston, so maybe the second round ends up being a corner because that was thought to be a high need, and it's a spot that they address quite a bit. Coming to this season, maybe Davis Nigbinosin makes more sense because Hairston is not on the team. I don't know.
Yeah.
But for him to be that good, is that not the whole point about what we actually want them to find?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could tell me Hairston or Schweisinger, and I'd say, like, which one ends up being one of the top 5 at their position? That's who I want.
Mm-hmm.
Best player available. Isn't the idea of best player available? I'm not going back revisionist history. Oh, I can't believe they didn't do it. But I remember that day thinking, this name out of nowhere, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
They obviously went a different direction.
They also obviously liked him a lot.
Did.
Like, they would not have been, because at the time, right, like linebacker wasn't really a need. It was, and you had Bernard, you had Milano, you had Dorian Williams, by the way, if you want that. Like, you had guys in the room that, okay, they're being tied to this guy, they must think he's great. And that has ended up being correct. I mean, that one personnel executive from an NFL team in the Jeremy Fowler piece this morning on Schweisinger said, quote, he's Luke Kuechly reincarnated.
Yeah. Like as we look at that Hairston pick, you've got that guy. They did not take him, so they like Hairston more. But 2 and 3 picks ahead of the Bills in this draft were noteworthy to me, where it's, let me find the other Bills pick here. Sorry, I got to find, not TJ Sanders.
TJ Sanders was their second round pick.
Right, okay.
In
Because
25.
Another player that I'd heard they liked a lot was Detroit took Tyleek Williams.
Okay.
2 picks in front of them. And Baltimore took Malachi Starks, 3 picks in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that was another one that right ahead of that draft, it was they're being mocked Starks.
Mm-hmm.
So we never got to see if they would have taken him. But if they do, then, how different are things? I'm not quite sure.
I mean, we would have seen.
It's tough to know.
We did get to see if they would have picked Schweisinger or not because they did not.
Right. That one we know. They took Hairston instead.
And now they're kind of left with a linebacker room that might look like one of their biggest question marks on the team.
For sure.
I mean, we don't even know who's going to start. And there's not many of those. Sal's been saying it's like the only position on the team where there's really going to be a battle, right? Like will linebacker next to Bernard.
And is Shaq Thompson still a conversation in the same way that Brandon Cooks is?
I mean, if we did our former Bill, future Bill draft, you said yesterday Brandon Cooks would go number 1. Would Shaq Thompson go number 2?
I might want to switch him now that I'm remembering Shaq Thompson.
Should we find out?
What, and do a former Bill, future Bill draft?
We could.
Game.
I don't know if everybody's mentally prepared for that.
I don't have a lot of names top of mind.
Yeah,
but
give it a day or something.
Maybe.
But he would be one of the first picks because he can play in this system. He's played in every system, and he has, like Cooks, expressed interest in coming back here, and he is still not on a team. And he's 32 years old. I think that's a real possibility. He was good last year, right? He was better than Bernard. Bernard. They had just paid. And we were at the midpoint of the year going like, I think Thompson should be playing over him, even when Bernard's back. And did that actually happen? Or was Bernard ever actually healthy at the same time? Did we even see it tested, whether they would start Thompson? I don't remember.
I mean, Thompson was in a lot.
Yeah, he almost took it to the house against Atlanta, right? Remember, he had a pick right to his hands that he would have scored on, and they would have won that game against the Falcons. A bad game overall. They were horrible in the first half defensively. The offense was like broken at times, and Thompson had the game in his hands, and he just dropped it.
803-0550 and 1-888-552-550. Jeff in Auburn. Hey, Jeff, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Morning.
Hey, so I got a couple questions. The first one is the concern on the defense. Going into this season, a lot of our key pieces are coming off injuries with surgeries. So wondering if not only, A, they can gel to the new 3-4 defense, but if they're going to be durable enough.
Who are you thinking about when you're thinking about surgeries and like Bernard?
Bernard's the big one. He's got the ankle. Then you got Ed Oliver coming off of the two, looks like he had 2 knees and the bicep.
Right. Yeah,
and then also, who's the young kid who's moving down to the 3-4? The big boy.
Deion Walker?
We got multiple.
Landon Jackson.
Sorry.
Landon Jackson. Then you got
Dwayne Carter.
Oh shoot.
You got a lot of names in there.
Yeah, no, you're right. Like
Hoyt, Achilles.
You're right. As you're going through the list, like it actually is a chunk. How many of the guys we just named though are really going to be relied upon for big roles? Oliver, yes.
Hoyt,
and Bernard. Jackson and Carter are probably just more rotational guys at best.
Yep.
But okay, like that is 3. Yeah, I mean, that would be a question. All right, I'll listen to this. Their defense this year, there are questions about how good the players are in general, questions about what the scheme is going to look like, and, okay, how many guys am I sure about health-wise or don't have big questions about? I don't have a big question about Rousseau on that front. I don't have a big question about, like, TJ Sanders, I guess. But, listen, otherwise, Hairston, that's a health concern. I don't know how fragile he's going to be going forward. Benford has missed, is it 3 playoff games that their season has ended on? Benford is always a conversation there. And the names you rattled off, like, okay, I have not thought about their defense in that way, that they are an injury risk as a unit overall, but it kind of checks out. There are not many guys on that side of the ball that you would feel super confident would play the whole year healthy.
I have no idea what to make of their defense ahead of time, and I mean, like, we are putting an awful lot on Jim Leonard.
Yeah, we are.
Like we're all putting an awful lot on him. He said flat out, it might not come to full vision in year 1, right? He knows. So I'm kind of managing expectations. For all the defense has been the problem, and the defense could very well be the problem again, or be a problem. But I don't think that has to be the case. They could play a different style. I mean, am I to believe that McDermott's defense was legit bad the whole time?
I mean, DVOA last year, they were the 8th best defense in football in the regular season.
Sure. With half of the defense no longer in the league.
Right.
The guys are not playing in the league. They did it with Band-Aids all over the roster. And now they have better roster. Okay. I mean, it was not that long ago. I mean, the week before they lose to Denver, they rolled out some cover 6, turn this. The national pundits they just couldn't say enough about how McDermott was in his bag and he owned Trevor Lawrence that day and he did the thing and the defense closed it out. And a week later, it's over.
Do you remember the story in the playoffs about what had happened to Drake May in the Patriots offense?
Everyone started doing what McDermott did.
McDermott had thrown, I think it was a lot of cover 6, but it was like cover 6 packages that McDermott had whipped up for Drake May that had worked, and then everybody started copying it after, and the Patriots offense wasn't the same.
Yeah.
They were 8th best DVOA defense, 14th best in EPA per play with that unit. Wouldn't you take that? This is just regular season. I know we want better for the playoffs.
Yeah, I know.
Regular season, would not everybody sign up for that in a heartbeat? In those two categories, which are pretty, I think smart ways to evaluate defense.
Yeah.
8th best and 14th. I would take that in a heartbeat for this defense right now, with ideally again better defensive results in the postseason.
803-0550. Thanks for the phone call.
But I don't know what to make of it either. I think you have a ton of questions. You could add the health part of it in. You have what guys will look like fitting into a defense like this. And what happens if we get a month into the year and, these guys can't play this way. We can't play this aggressive. We can't play this reckless. Do they evolve? Do they feel like they have to? I remember, to make a maybe sloppy soccer comparison, when Liverpool got a new manager, what did the manager do? These guys can't. There's too many of the old guard. They can't play the way I want to play. I have to basically play a version of what the previous guy played.
Yeah.
And it worked. Will Leonard feel like at some point during the year, I can't run the defense the way I want it to? I have to run almost a quasi-McDermott defense because that's what everybody in this defense knows, and they're not capable of doing anything differently.
I also just tend to think that football off-season time, it's a time when everyone believes in their team and the changes they've made. What NFL team doesn't think their defense is going to be better than it was last year? Cleveland? Is that it? Cleveland might even say, the pieces we got, everybody thinks their defense is going to be better next year.
That's true.
Everybody does. All the changes, the number of coordinator changes, like this year it was crazy. How many new coaches, coordinators, how many new defensive coordinators this year? I got to find that out real quick because, if your biggest little nugget for why my team will be better is a new person calling the defense. You know how many that is this season? Half the league. 15 new defensive coordinators.
Wow.
So if you get the new defensive coordinator bump, bad news. 14 other teams get that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm not down on it. I do not know what to make of it. And if I were to predict something, I think early in the season, we are going to be arguing about it, fighting about it. I mean, they play a really tough run. And I know Houston, people are down on that offense, but if it's healthy, which whenever the Bills play Houston's offense, they're not healthy. They beat the Bills when Nico Collins went out injured. They beat the Bills with Davis Mills. And if Houston comes in with a fully healthy offense in week 1, that might be it. Without any tape on them, they've got some young receivers that have done some good things. Houston could be a decent challenge. And then it's Detroit, the Chargers, the Patriots, the Rams. Now, you have a 5-game opening stretch where
you don't get a break.
Right. I think we did this last year. Last year I said, I'm going to wait the first 6 games before we figure out what we're going to say about the defense because Hoyt and Ogunjobi still have to come back. And then they came back, and, of course, Hoyt was gone in a game and a half. And Ogunjobi might as well have never played for them.
Right. Right.
And those were 2 pieces we were counting on. So, it's what am I saying? I'm saying you never know. But with this defense, the challenges early are big. If they are good out of the gate, I think they will convince me they're going to be good.
Me too.
And if they're bad out of the gate, I'll want to give it time.
I think I'll want to give it time, and I'm also going to want all the Bills in fantasy because I think we're getting some high-scoring games in the first month.
Listen, that might be that might be a defense mechanism for me to say if it's good, it counts, and if they're bad, it doesn't count. That could be cope, but I feel like I can lay out why. The first 5 games of the season are especially for the defense, a massive test. 803-0550, the phone number. Jeremy and Joe on WGR.
The GM stood up there at the end of the season press conference and said, well, I don't want to sign Alex Tuck if it's going to be a deal where we basically have to say goodbye to guys. And then they let Tuck go, who is a 30-goal, 60-point top-line winger who plays power play, who plays penalty kill, who's incredibly fast, who is big. And they said, okay, because we don't want to say goodbye to the guys like Peyton Krebs and Beck Malenstein and Jason Zucker or Ryan McLeod, guys that I think are really good in the roles they play, but they play the most replaceable positions in the sport. Like when you play fourth line, especially the wingers, that's the most replaceable thing in hockey. So they spent $13 million on this year, like, well, I didn't want to say goodbye to Krebs, Malenstein, and Zucker in order to pay Alex Tuck. Well, okay, that cost you $13 million for three guys like that.
Yeah.
When you couldn't have just plugged Tyson Kozak and Justin Danforth into very replaceable roles at $1 million and paid your $10 million top-line winger. I think that was the more their offseason goes and they give out contracts like to guys like this that are just okay, I think I want to go back and think to myself, I wanted them to sign Tuck even more.
Yeah, well, I thought you were going to finish that sentence with the more the offseason goes by and they're giving out contracts to guys that are okay, the more they feel like the Bills. Like, that's what I thought you were going to say.
That's good, too, though.
That, like,
yeah,
everybody is, hey, it's draft and develop, it's keep our own, it's, you know, these guys that we brought in are better than other options. And maybe they are, but if you could redo it today, you think Tuck is the better plan?
I think if I could spend $13 million on either Zucker, they didn't sign this offseason.
That's right.
I just went into the offseason thinking like he could be a guy you would move to create space. If you gave me two options, I could have Zucker, Malenstein, and Krebs at $13 million, or I could have Tuck, Danforth, and Kozak. I think I would take Tuck, Kozak, and Danforth.
Yeah.
I will get away with $1 million fourth line guys that play the most replaceable positions in the sport. And yes, what I'll be losing is if I run into injuries, what can Peyton Krebs do that Tyson Kozak definitely cannot? He cannot go up and play with Tage Thompson and whoever else is playing on that top line. I would be losing that. Can Kozak do what Malenstein does on the penalty kill, and can he hit the way he does, and can he shot block? Like, I don't know if you're losing that too, but whatever. First line's more important than fourth line.
overcome or what do they have to do to overcome? The Bills are chasing a ghost. The Bills don't know what's wrong with their organization. They're trying to make changes to fix a problem that they can't put their finger on, right? Versus the New England Patriots, they fixed their problem, right? They changed their head coach, right? They have their quarterback. They have gotten to the game that they're trying to get to. They just have to finish it now. So what they have to make small, minute changes at areas that they already know how to address versus a team and an organization that literally doesn't know what's wrong.
I did see this clip yesterday. Isaiah Stanback on, honestly.
What does he say?
It was sent to me as a, look at this. Look at a load of this. And I listened and I thought, like, I don't even know what is attempting to be said.
They don't know what the problem is? Well, they think they do.
They think they do, and they made changes. I don't know. Isaiah Stanback, former NFL receiver, drafted in the 4th round by the Cowboys in 2007.
Wasn't familiar with his with his game.
Me either.
Stand back?
Yeah.
How many yards do you think he had in his career?
Ooh, I don't know.
He's not a player I'm familiar with.
No,
So
that's right.
I'm
that's
curious,
right.
like what his career
It
looks
doesn't
like.
make his opinion less worthy.
I'm not saying that.
No, I know. Making sure everyone out there knows we don't think that. But the opinion itself is just kind of like, what?
I've got the number. 52.
Okay.
Again, not discounting his opinion.
Maybe some special teams contributions.
You know, it does appear that way, actually. Yeah.
All right. Good.
Some returns.
I have a question for you guys as an old.
By
the way, I'd like to.
Can't wait for this.
I'd like to call something to the table here, and I maybe I'm a little paranoid.
What?
I'm sending texts to the group, and you guys are just like leaving me on red all the time.
Oh.
Nobody's responding. I can't get a response.
We all do this to each other. It's not just you.
When's the last time you texted something and you didn't get a response?
I know we got to pull the receipts now.
Yeah.
Multiple ideas, like the new worst take segment. Also, the other one was on Saturday. It was halftime of England-Norway, and I said, you have a choice. Watch the second half of this game or the Bills' wild card round playoff game. Which would you pick?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Because the Bills' wild card playoff game will be only stress, and if they don't win it, will be furious, and it might be against like Mason Rudolph or the second half of Norway-England. No response.
That was on Saturday?
Yeah.
Well, I was in the middle of a golf tournament, I believe.
Oh,
me and
too
Stinky were playing.
focused. You guys.
Yeah, so Joe's on the hook for that one.
Yeah.
I am on the hook.
I mean, it might have been a dumb question, but anyway. No, my question was, my wife and her friends apparently they do this thing. The other day, she got her phone. I'm like, oh, are you on a call? Like, no. Oh, are you listening to a podcast? No. What is it? It's a voice memo.
There's a. Go ahead.
She and her friends in at least one group, they just voice memo back and forth all the time, with like 3 and 4 and 5 minute memos.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a podcast.
Yep.
Now, to me, this does strike me as a very efficient way of communicating rather than a text at a time. But is this a thing the Youngs are doing?
If I have a really long thing I need to say, like a text or something, I will voice memo it to somebody, yes.
Is a voice memo not just
a voicemail?
Leaving a message? A voicemail?
But they are the whole
You're skipping the call.
Conversations over time. The primary communication is voice memo back and forth.
Yeah, I've never really thought of this as a concept until, did you see the where in sports this has become news? Voice memos?
No.
That's how LeBron is doing free agency.
Oh my God. We got to talk about.
Did you see this story?
I want to talk about LeBron. I mean,
LeBron is teams. They have required. They're not doing phone calls. They're not doing meetings right now. If you're a team that wants LeBron, he's like, send me a voice memo. That's how they're doing it.
Someone on one of the shouty shows needs to say this, and then like they yell about it for 5 days. LeBron likes this more than he likes winning rings.
Oh, he loves it. Oh, he knows he's going to Cleveland. He
likes
dragging this
out more than anything.
Right. It was literally a whole story on ESPN. Sources told Shams Charania that Rich Paul, James' agent, has facilitated team executives in selling their vision to him by sending a voice note for James.
Yeah.
This was a whole story. Teams have had their owner, president, or general manager record voice memos.
It's insane.
This was a story about LeBron's
Court
free
me.
agency.
Just please, I need all. He and his agent talk. All right, Bron. You want to talk about where we're going? Like, where's your best chance to win a championship? No, I don't care about that. Get as many teams to voice text us as possible.
Yeah.
That's my ring right now. The ring is to just be pursued.
Yep. The Spurs one got leaked, I saw. I don't think there was anything like that interesting about it, but he loves this. And it's probably the last time he's going to get it. So he's not
if he can help it. Wait till he goes into broadcasting. Oh, voice memo me, networks. Let's have it. Who would like my services? Where will LeBron sign? Is it going to be ESPN?
Do you think there's some Brady-fying going on with him at the end here? He doesn't infuriate me with it like Brady, even though I acknowledge he's similar in many ways. Right? I think I like LeBron, so it's easier to stomach when it's.
I'm not prepared to answer with what's different about it.
They both love to be the center of attention. They need it.
Yeah.
They need to be the center of attention.
Yeah.
What's different about it? Something feels different about it. Again, that could just be my own personal bias because I hate Tom Brady, though. That could be all that's different. Rodgers, same thing. Has Rodgers settled down on that front a little bit?
Seems like it.
That's good. Brady is not.
Brian in Lancaster. Hey, Brian.
Hello there. Bonfire. Best thing you could ever do. Throw an old college couch on the bonfire. It lit up the back of our backyard. Green, orange, every color of the spectrum was wonderful and scary all at the same time.
Yeah, that's right.
An old college couch?
Yeah, one of those big ones that
like your grandmother gave you?
Yeah. It's
I have a couch for you. It's 7,000 years old.
Yeah, burn it.
And then you burn it. It's awesome.
Yeah, those things will go up.
Yep. My reference is number 81 on the NFL Top 100, Bobby Wagner, still unsigned free agent.
He is.
How beautiful would he be as our inside linebacker?
It's a good question. Like, that's another name where we thought that could be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the Bills go to training camp and get 2 to 3 weeks in and get a look at their linebackers and think, how do we feel about it? It's a work in progress, that's for sure. Caleb Elarm-Zor is going to get so much run. So much run. He already did at minicamp. He's out there with pretty much no one else available.
Well, here's a revisit on where the Bills are as a franchise. We're trying to win the Super Bowl, right, here?
Yeah.
This year? Okay. I'm not telling you I'm not excited about Caleb Elam-Zor, but Bobby Wagner, who is still very good and accomplished and, yes, old, or a fourth-round rookie?
I mean, do they play the same exact spot that we were talking about here? It's one or the other?
No, but Bernard plays both, right? You can move Bernard to wherever fits. Maybe they wouldn't want to do that. We talked about Bernard moving to will linebacker a lot last year, and it doesn't appear like that's happening. But give me Bobby Wagner on the field if I can get it. I just also don't know if is that a money thing? Is that why he's not signed? Because the Bills are not necessarily unlimited with resources.
Forget the money. What I would say about the Bills and their defensive resources is you have to cut somebody. And they have look at their entire roster from a defensive standpoint.
Yep.
They don't have like an easy cut, I don't think.
Off like who would make the 53?
Yeah.
Right.
They really don't.
Because they can cut Theron Gaines tomorrow. But,
yes.
But who's going to make the roster?
Right, but who you cut off the roster? Adding any defensive lineman means cutting Javon Solomon, like Landon Jackson and
Dwayne Carter.
And Dwayne Carter were, to me, very much bubble guys to make the roster, and they both changed their bodies to do it.
Right.
Because while that might have been viewed by many as like, oh, yeah, that they're going to do what it takes. No, they're going to do what it takes, because if they don't, they could easily be phased out. I mean, Dwayne Carter, he was, I thought, not a lock to make the roster before he suffered his injury. And to me, when he suffered his injury to miss the whole season, I thought that might be a silver lining to buy him a year, because I'm not sure he was going to make it.
Maybe. Should it really increase the odds he makes it?
I don't know that it'll increase the odds. It gives him another. All I was saying is it gives him another chance to.
It's a lifeline, I guess.
I thought he was bubble as it is.
But it very easily could look like in camp, he's just not this type of
Right,
player, and he's also not as athletic because he tore his Achilles.
And we're still kind of we will have to see what kind of numbers they carry because their defensive front will have so many pieces to it.
Yep.
But that's the thing. Like they've got so many pieces there. I mean, I wonder about any idea of adding a player defensively. Like who's going to go?
Yep.
And at linebacker, that's who?
I don't think it's Joe Andreessen. Right now, Bernard, Dorian Williams, Caleb Elam-Zor, and Joe Andreessen feel like they're locks to make the team.
So that means if you brought in another linebacker, someone's got to go from somewhere else.
Right.
And, on the 53, is that Geno Stone? No. Signed him to play.
Maybe. I mean, how many other safeties they got?
Is it Hamlin? Because Hamlin, you can just put him out there and bring him back when you need to? I'm just dipping into the secondary for the sake of it. They don't have that many corners.
Right. Corner is not a position where I think it would happen because they already – I mean, Sal's been talking about how, like, they could use one more. Like that.
Right.
If you are going to add a veteran somewhere, it feels like corner – as much as I like Bobby Wagner, I think corner feels more appropriate for that because of what you have at the depth chart.
Yeah.
It's thinner. You might feel more confident in the starters, but linebacker, I feel like I've got my 4 guys. Corner, I've got 3, and then who knows after that.
Thanks for the phone call. 803. Oh, the ESPYs are tomorrow.
Exciting. The ESPYs.
Listen, I'm not here to trash the ESPYs.
They're good.
That's how you know. That's how you know. The worst sports day of the year has appeared. Although we get Argentina, England, which is nice.
Yeah, we get some.
But the ESPYs are like when the Grim Reaper shows. Like, oh boy,
Oh, look at the list. I got the nominees here.
All right, let's pick some ESPY winners in Extendo Sports. Right. We'll do that tomorrow too. Coming up next. Krebs goes up and down the lineup, and I think he's got one of those. When the Sabres tweeted out the contract extension, they tweeted out our Swiss Army knife.
Yes.
And I think that's probably right.
I think
Jeremy
it's like
White
half
here
right.
for
It's right at 5-on-5.
Okay.
Like, there are the guy that I mentioned as I think the closest comparable that signed to him this offseason when we talked about this early last week was Jack Drury, who signed in Nashville. What was his deal? 5 years, $4.5 million per year for a small center that's better defensively but can put up a little bit in the points department. And he got 5 years, $4.5 million per year. What did Krebs get? 4 years, $4.5 million per year.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that far off. Krebs has that ability. Like, that files under Swiss Army knife. You could play him on the wing. You could play him at center. You could play him on line 1. You could play him on line 4. Like, I think that qualifies. However, like what Drury does that Krebs doesn't do, Krebs is not a face-off specialist at all, so he doesn't give you that niche, and he does not play any special teams. Like, Malenstein, at least what he would give you is this is a penalty killer who's going to throw his body in front of shots and block them, and Krebs played 11 minutes of penalty kill time last year. Like, he does not do it. So I don't get him on power play. I don't get him on penalty kill. I don't get him doing face-offs at a good rate, 44%. So, yeah, I feel like it's I don't want to go all in on Swiss Army knife, or else I'd like him to be able to do one of those things. Give me another role, another specialty role, and maybe he'll grow into that. He might just be asked to play penalty kill this year because Tuck's no longer going to do it, and somebody's going to have to. So I think I could get there with him there. I guess it depends what's more valuable to you. Is it more valuable to be a great penalty killer like Malenstein, or is it more valuable to have a fourth liner that can go up to the top 6 if he needs to? And even I would tell you I think the latter is probably more valuable.
Maybe.
Isn't it?
I guess it all depends on how you sell it. Like, fourth liner that jumps up into the top 6, which Krebs does from time to time, has its value. And I think everyone feels, I shouldn't say this, that everyone feels the exact same about Krebs, but I do feel like there's just a general, okay. His arc has been interesting. He was the guy in the Eichel trade who was supposed to be the really prized prospect piece. Mm-hmm. And if I told you the day of the Eichel trade what he would end up being, would you think, oh, that's a good return? I think the answer is no.
I think I would lean no.
I think you might have hoped that guy would turn into like at worst, 50-point
second line center.
Yeah, that's probably what you were hoping to get. Instead, he ends up going like to the fourth line with Granato and putting the work in and doing what he's asked and keeping a job in the league and sometimes fighting and sometimes getting scrappy.
ESPYs tomorrow night. There are 5 plays up for best play. Both golden goals by Team USA, hockey.
Okay.
Men's and women's.
Yep.
Separately, obviously. UConn's buzzer beater 3 against Duke. March Madness.
Yep.
OG Anunoby's tip-in the NBA Finals.
It's pretty good.
And Caleb Williams' game-tying touchdown against the Rams. That's the one where he's like running around in the backfield and just throws it up.
All right. Respectful. Respectable. Give me the Team USA golden goal.
Which one?
I don't remember the women's one.
The women's one was more impressive, though. She went toe drag.
Hadn't they
toe drag, forehand, backhand in?
Hadn't they won the gold more recently?
Yeah.
We're talking 46 years.
Yeah.
Golden goal.
That one might be close because that's a good point. I feel like the women's goal was more impressive, but
Nick in the chat suggests, how about the Hellebuck save?
Oh yeah, that could have been in there.
They coulda, shoulda.
Best single game performance.
Did Josh have a play this year? Was the Josh Niner game? That was 2 years ago, right?
That was 2 years ago. The lateral
from
Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no Josh in here.
All right.
Best NFL player, he's not listed.
Not listed.
Not one of the 4.
All right. Who is?
Myles Garrett.
Fair.
Matthew Stafford. Drake May. And JSN.
Did you see? Sorry, we got to go. But did you see Benjamin Solak pointed out? He listed his when asked in the Jeremy Fowler piece or the NFL 100, whatever he was asked.
Yeah.
If he was asked, he had 2 players ahead of Josh Allen.
2?
2.
Who are they?
Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
And
Drake May.
Will Anderson.
Will Anderson.
Another defensive end. As the 2 players better than the best quarterback. Those 2. We'll be back tomorrow. Cheers. Have a great day. Stay cool.